You make it hard, baby. You make it hard on me. What's the use to work it out somehow? And if you don't know by now, there's nothing more to say that I can do. And I guess I finally found I don't love you, because you make it hard, babe.
Chris and Sabrina with The Link here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
What is wrong with the youth? Them all crazy. Have the mind of children downright lazy. Take your time on the youth, make life easy. Make it easy, the youth, them all crazy. What is wrong with the youth? Them all crazy. Have the minds of children downright lazy. Take your time for the youth, make life easy. Make it easy for the youth, them all crazy. Show our children that violence is never the way. Use them losing a life and struggling every day. Supervision of the young people fading away. Your rebel children multiplying now, hear me say. The youth them getting crazy. The youth them getting crazy. The youth them getting crazy. I say. Children killing children, the chaos never ending. Now people say no word, but then the story's mind bending. They kill, they see, they lying every day, then what them saying. The juvenile corruption expanding. Please don't blame the youth for what they stressing every second, but what we grown people place on them on every moment. And if they have a problem, please don't hesitate to save them. Help the youth in needs and don't be going out to play down. The youth them getting crazy. The youth them getting crazy. They use them getting crazy. Hey. What is wrong with the youth? Them all crazy. Have the mind of children downright lazy. Take the time on the youth, make life easy. Make life easy for the youth. Them all crazy. Come on, children, relax your soul. This rhythm is just how we both on. Come on down, way down till the day we get home. Come on, children, relax your soul. Now listen to me, child. You know you're getting a little bit too crazy. You got a lot to learn and to live for. Just think positive with an open mind, no matter what the situation is. You know? And everything will be alright, child. Everything will be alright. What is wrong with the youth? Them all crazy. Have the mind of children downright lazy. Take your time on the youth, make life easy. Make it easy, the youth, them all crazy. What is wrong with the youth? Them all crazy. Have the minds of children downright lazy. Take your time for the youth, make life easy. Make it easy for the youth, them all crazy. Show our children that violence is never the way. Use them losing a life and struggling every day. Supervision of the young people fading away. The rebel children multiplying now, hear me say.
Stay connected through The Link each morning on Breeze 93.9 FM.
I've been there before now. I've seen many doors closing now. And now that I'm searching, well, it's you that I'm seeing. Ooh, she didn't want me to go now. Her tears slowly so closing now. And now that I'm searching, well, it's you that I'm seeing. Ooh, find my way back to my first love, back to my first love. The music, whoa, whoa, find my way back to my first love, back to my first love, my first love. Whoa, whoa. I share my room now, I'll share my food now. Prepare a life for you and I believe. God bless your womb, provide a son or moon child. You are the apple of my eyes, believe. Find my way back to my first love, back to my first love, my first love. Whoa, whoa, find my way back to my first love, back to my first love. The music, whoa, whoa, find my way back to my first love, back to my first love. The music, whoa, whoa, find my way back to my first love, back to my first love. The music,
Gosinja uli die sombranza mak et zu ita saluda antes de niga Radzaudzan malak estrezas durante em todo emu a nogi distância como cupo palo zaniman malak guafi Ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata gaigi pues atan fanni bandera kau Esta pagua pumalapa Gilo tanu man libri Sentanu iti man ko badi Samoru purita nota kantai matu nanyagi todu ilugat parai honra parai gloria abibai isla sin parat parai honra para y gloria, aviva pos para kita dan gini langit na bendisyon Konchai peligro na fan sofuham Zeus protehis languahon Konchai peligro na fan sofuham Zeus protehis languahon
morning.
Hi.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi.
Hi,
Those are
Jason.
Puffy white clouds outside.
Puffing white clouds. Beautiful. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
We're alive. Yep, I'm that guy. That's where we're at right now. I'm just like, hey, we're alive. Okay, we're alive. Don't stop breathing, guys. Stay with us here. 6:23. This is the link. It's Tuesday, September 14th. Joe Sir with the beautiful Hutman Sunrise Cam. Did they rename Harmon?
Not yet. All the southern villages completely,
So we're just going to pronounce it Hutman.
all the southern villages said you have to repronounce. Most of the northern villages like Dedido and I think Dedido and Jigo, they were kind of like on the fence. The
Right.
central villages where all the businesses, they're like
But the big one that a lot of my friends are talking about is Santa Rita Sumai.
now you have to add the Sumai.
Well, no, it's not. You can't say Santa Rita anymore.
Yeah.
Don't say it like that. Well, that's the Barnett way to pronounce it. You can't say Santa Rita. You got to say Santa Rita. Guacamole.
Imagine like ordering a pizza like in the next couple months.
Yeah.
It's like yeah, thank you for calling. Where shall I deliver it to? Oh, I'm in Hyundai Santa Rita Sumai. Hang on a sec, let me take
Where's
that
that,
down.
bro?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're in Santa Rita. Okay. Hey, good morning, though.
You on Google Maps?
It's 6:24. Obviously, big show today, of course. Lots to talk about. Dr. Hola Wen, the former chair of the Physicians Advisory Group, coming on here. Lillian Posadas, hospital administrator. Chief Public Health Officer Chima Mbakwem.
Man,
That's the kind of show we're having today. We're bringing in the medical.
as the kids would say, like on Twitter, it meant that press conference though.
Yeah, that was
Yesterday.
something else.
Woo! But we've been asking for it. We've been asking for a return
Yeah.
appearance of Dr. Jolene Uggan, and she was there.
She was.
wasn't here, but she was, and she was speaking from the heart.
I'm just going to say I'm not really entirely sure what the point of the press conference was, other than that being said, right, obviously we've been complaining the governor needs to come out more, so, that was a good part. She came out and showed face and spoke to the people. But I think the takeaway from what and just talking to people, they were like, okay, so you called a press conference to tell us it's really serious, and that was it. There weren't any changes proposed. She did say that there have been discussions of a lockdown, but we're going to play a clip from Nestor asked about that coming up here on the show, which is brought to you by Pacific Points, Calvo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box.
Now, here's the interesting thing about that. And Nestor right off the bat did ask that question.
Yeah.
We'll play it later, but we've asked several physicians, and Nestor even asked the new chairman of the Physicians Advisory Group, would about a lockdown, and they all say, we're not considering it at this point officially, but they're all of the opinion that in theory it would work.
Yeah, what wouldn't work about it?
But if you read like comments from Instagram, Facebook,
well, we did a poll
Twitter, that's
question.
what everybody's asking for.
Yeah, we did a poll question.
Yeah.
Were you surprised, Sabrina, that there weren't any? Because I thought they were going to announce, any changes to the EOs. Were you surprised when they didn't?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing really surprises Sabrina anymore. Me, I'm an optimist. I always want to be surprised, But yeah, I don't know. The gist for me with the press conference was like, hey guys, it's really alarming out here. A lot of people are dying. Many more are going to die. The hospital is jam-packed. Wash your hands. Okay, bye. Yeah. With this lockdown thing, we did a poll question on it, Jay, and it was crazy in favor, right? I want to say.
Open-ended. I just realized that. So it was an open-ended question, but we got a lot of feedback. Some people very, very passionate. Some people just putting a one-word answer in all caps, yes or no. So that's kind of the universal internet way of shouting.
Yeah. It's interesting to me because I know that people who were talking about the economic side of it.
There is the counter-argument.
Yeah. There is, but I just want to say our economy right now is already screwed. It's screwed. You got businesses are self-policing and dialing back to 50%. People just don't have the money they had when they had the PUA. Right? So I don't know. To me, it becomes a question. We're not really getting the tourists right now. Obviously, we've got that CDC advisory. To me, the question becomes like, do we? I mean, of all the times to do some kind of like strict measures, now would be the time. Yeah, it would be because the numbers are high. They're not subsiding. Businesses are already having a hard time. But, without the federal aid, and that's where it's key, is this is what people are thinking out there. They're saying, oh, the governor doesn't want to lock anything down because she doesn't want to use any of the ARP money for assistance that would become necessary if she were to order a lockdown, right? And then lockdown is such a big term, right? So when you think lockdown, what do you guys think?
Complete and utter lack of activity.
Like lockdown,
And if
right?
and if you remember, one of the first interviews we did, because of course, now the now famous date, March 15th, 2020, when the pandemic actually first started, Bree and I covered this. The very next day, Nestor got Dr. Tom Shea,
Yeah.
who basically said, and he goes, hey, obviously I'm not a policymaker, I'm a physician, but I would think that the only way that you can really choke this thing out and give it nowhere to go would be leaning towards almost like state of martial law, where basically no one's permitted to leave the house, and kind of like dovetail on what Dr. Ann Pobutsky said the other day, which is basically only police, fire department, and public health.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think Dr. Shea, though, was also saying that no flights come in.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, locked on the port, locked on the flights, and then the narrative became, okay, well, I can't close the airport, I can't, close the port. We still got to get goods and services in.
I think at this point, though, I think people just want to see something being done, right? Something, anything, but quarantine, right? So
You
when
know
the
what,
governor,
folks? You can do it yourself, though. I mean, you don't need
yeah.
the governor to actually say stay inside to stay inside.
Hence, I think that's why I'm not surprised.
I must say though, when I took a drive just to kind of like clear my head this past weekend and everything like that, and there weren't as many people out on a Sunday as you would normally see, and that actually made me like feel good. It's like, hey, whether people are legitimately afraid or whether they're just like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to suck it up, let's do what we have to do.
yeah, it's tough call. I mean, because right now you got the governor, the people who think she's not doing enough are very critical, and the people who think she's doing too much are very critical. So I'm not one to really feel sorry for politicians because it's the life they chose, but that's just the situation. Is the community's divided, and you got a lot of people who are saying, hey, if we got to like take a hit now just to stem the flow of the virus, then okay. And then you got other people who are like, oh, lock up the elderly and let everyone else out here to party. So the island's very divided, and that's to me, it's a big part of the problem is that you got a governor who maybe, I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know if she just had it already or what. We don't know.
That is
I
kind
mean,
of.
I get during that press conference, I was getting messages like, "We shut down schools. We don't shut down bars."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
And when Esther asked her about a lockdown, her answer, to me, it just didn't really make sense. And they kind of changed things up for these press conferences. I was a little disappointed because yesterday was my birthday. Yesterday was my birthday, guys. I know you know. Thank you so much. Everywhere I went, all the comments, social media was flooded in it. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
I actually had to revoice our Cold Stone Creamery birthday shout outs because you got so many, and they're like,
Sorry,
we got a couple more,
Sorry, bro.
which was which was nice.
Cool. But so when Bree sent
Including from your dog.
yeah, thank you. So when Bree sent the thing to the chat, she was like, "Oh, press conference at 2." I kind of got like excited because I was like, "Wow, that's like a good birthday present."
That's what I.
Yeah,
what I
Bree was
messaged.
like, "Oh, happy birthday, Chris," because there's a lot of questions, right? I mean, the governor has not come out and really not face the public. That sounds mean, but she hasn't. She hasn't come out ever since this whole purging of the unvaccinated thing. And there's a million questions that we have, but sadly, with no explanation, they cut the number of reporters in half. So it used to be that every media outlet could send 2 reporters, right? And so yesterday, they cut it down to 1. What were you guys calling it?
The Chris Barnett policy.
The Chris Barnett policy. And Come on, man. I'm not that bad. Just asking the questions. But you know what? KUAM News is
That
obviously
also was a birthday present for
that
you.
leads everything, right? And so Nestor always does a great job in the press conference. But my phone was blowing up because people were like, "Hey, can you ask about this?" Or "Hey, on the link, you know, you guys said this. Can you ask her about this?" I mean, it was nonstop. And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm not in the press conference." They're like, "Oh, what happened? Or did you get fired? Are you in trouble?" No, but I don't know. Why would you do that, though? Why would you, though? Especially if you don't come out for, weeks. And then when you do come out, it's again, you're going to, you might as well say you have the prior engagement. They're just trying everything just to avoid, I don't know. It's frustrating, guys. It's frustrating because when we don't get the opportunity to ask our governor, and not just her, the leadership, when do you ever get a chance to ask Dr. Mike Cruz something? And we ask him to come on the show a lot. We just get left on red. So, yeah, these are great opportunities for the media, but it's sad when they limit the opportunities for the media. Like, is there something else going on? Is there something else going on that you can't sit for a bit and answer the questions? I'm just saying. It always seems like there's something else going on, more important than informing the people of Guam. It's 6:34, so good morning, guys. You want to do the news?
Wait, what did you do for your birthday first?
Oh, yeah. So then what I did for my birthday is...
Oh, and that thing.
Yeah.
Did you go out?
Well, it kind of sucked because
go out?
my daughter, my oldest daughter, is sick.
Oh, no.
And so is her boyfriend. Yeah, and so she texted me last night. And then over the weekend, she was like, "Yeah, I don't feel so well. Whatever,
Get
I'm a little
well, Sam
sick."
and Andrew.
And then so last night she was like, "Yeah, I'll be over." And she goes, "I'm just still coughing a little bit." So I was like, "Okay, hold on." And this is what we got to do, guys. Like, of course I wanted my daughter and her boyfriend to come over. Of course I did. It was my birthday. And I'll be honest with you guys. I told her, I said, "Well, okay, just come and you wear your mask and you go sit in the corner and face the wall." And she was like, "No, I shouldn't." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't." That's what we need to do. If you're sick, stay home. This requires a little bit of sacrifice, guys. You know what I mean? And we just need to get back to that place. That there's just there's so much division in the community. And to me, it's like the number one priority, guys, no matter if you feel that the vaccine is going to give you 3 eyeballs or it's full of magnets or whatever you guys feel. You don't want to take the vaccine. If you believe in it, okay, fine, whatever, guys. But let's at least prioritize going back to basics, okay? I don't care. I don't freaking care if you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. You hate it, you love it. I don't care. To me, what matters is limiting your interactions, wearing your mask, washing your hands, watching your distance, right? And if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home. If you're sick, stay home. Okay. Anyway, 6:35. Let's go ahead and get into the news now. It's our first look at the news, which is brought to you by Pacific Points with the very latest. Sabrina Salas-Mantanani, good morning.
Off it, everybody. According to last night's Joint Information Center report, Guam recorded 174 new positive cases. These are from tests conducted over the weekend and Monday. To date, there have been a total of 12,553 officially reported cases of COVID-19, with 168 deaths. 1,822 cases are in active isolation, and there have been more than 10,000 recoveries. The CAR score, 37.2. A total of 73 people are hospitalized with COVID-19. 9 are receiving ICU level of care, while 4 patients are on ventilators. Out of the 73 hospitalizations, the JIC reports that 44 are unvaccinated. The status of 7 is unknown. 1 is ineligible and 21 are vaccinated. The JIC also reports that 2 Guam EPA employees tested positive for COVID. The employees work in the operations building. As a result of those positive cases, the weekly recreational beach monitoring will be suspended until further notice. As for vaccinations, a total of 112,992 eligible island residents have been fully immunized against COVID-19. And here's more news from back in our television studios.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Today, everybody, it's me again. An alarming 9 new COVID-related deaths were reported yesterday, including a majority who were dead on arrival at the hospital. The governor held a news conference to update the community on this frightening new trend. Here's Nestor Locanto.
Appearing at her first news conference in several weeks, this is how the governor summed up this latest COVID surge.
We are in the eye of the most horrendous storm. And in that situation, we need to just all rally together and be united on this.
The governor described an alarming new trend in which multiple people have been brought to the hospitals dead on arrival. GMH Medical Director Dr. Jolene Uggan says she believes the victims might have suffered from silent hypoxia.
One of the biggest advice that I give for the community is if you are testing positive for COVID, that you purchase a pulse oximeter. Because this pulse oximeter at days 5 and on from your exposure is something that needs to be checked several times during the day, because you will not know that your oxygen levels are that low. And that's what I think is contributing to these dead on arrivals.
Dr. Uggan says if you register less than a 95 on the oximeter, you need to get to the hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, despite the new trend and the multi-week surge, the governor says she believes the current measures are providing enough protection, although they have talked about other options.
We have discussed lockdowns. We are looking at what we can do to help, maybe not a total lockdown, but maybe some other restrictions.
But the repeated message from the governor and health officials was to get vaccinated.
It is the fact that at the hospitals, the severity of the illness is not seen with vaccinated patients. You heard their census, and that most of the people that are in ICU are not vaccinated. Most of the people that are on the ventilators are not vaccinated. We're seeing dead on arrivals that are not vaccinated, and we're seeing longer duration of hospital cases not vaccinated.
The governor says they're even ahead of President Biden's just announced 6-step plan for fighting the virus, including more rapid testing and monoclonal treatment to head off the disease before it requires hospitalization. But she also urges the community to stick to the basics of what has worked before.
Wear your mask, watch your distance, wash your hands, and get vaccinated.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Locanto.
Public Health is preparing to open up what's called an infusion center where monoclonal antibody treatments will be administered. As Daniel Perez reports, the center will be located in Manilao and manned by medical professionals sent by the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
FEMA's team of doctors and medical professionals should be on the island now to augment and expand the agency's administration of monoclonal antibody treatments.
So we are anticipating the FEMA team to arrive sometime today or tonight, and for the next day or so, they will be undergoing orientation and training. The important thing now is getting the team ready and everything set up so that we can begin the infusion.
According to Public Health PIO Janela Carrera, 20 FEMA personnel will arrive on the island today, while 2 arrived last week. They will be manning an infusion center being set up at the Manilao Senior Center.
So our target is for Wednesday to begin infusion of the monoclonal antibody therapy here. So that's why you see that starting today we are beginning to do the setup, and that's what the beds are for. So hopefully what we'll have as a normal part of our strategy is infusion therapy as well. So we want to increase the number of doses of infusion therapy or courses of infusion therapy to, perhaps maybe 80 a day or even more.
Public Health was set to receive 96 doses of the RegenCove treatment last Friday. However, they are unsure if it arrived or not, according to Carrera. The doses are not only necessary for the infusion center to launch, but to address the number of people who have tested positive and signed up to receive the treatments.
We do have a wait list. I believe there are about 30 patients, and these are patients who were referred last week from the Tees and Test site.
The MAB treatment is part of a mitigation strategy to help cut down the rising numbers of hospitalizations. It's also part of President Biden's plan to counter the pandemic.
What we are really excited about, though, is that I know President Biden announced that he wants to increase the amount of monoclonal antibody therapy for the entire nation, and that, of course, is inclusive of territories.
The MAB treatment are emergency use authorized by the FDA for treatment of mild to moderate symptoms of COVID-19 in adults and pediatric patients. In order to receive the treatment, you must meet certain criteria and be referred by a physician. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Daniel Perez.
As many of you already know, GMH and GRMC have already been administering the REGEN-COV treatment. However, as reported, the hospital ran out of doses last week. GMH spokesperson May Habib confirms that the hospital received a new shipment of 168 vials on Saturday, but only 24 were within the right temperature range, meaning the remaining 144 vials were deemed unusable. KUAM also confirms that an elderly woman had an adverse reaction to her second vaccine shot at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse over the weekend. Dr. Hola Wen was called to the vaccination clinic by an attending nurse after the elderly woman experienced respiratory distress. During the monitoring period, personnel from the Guam National Guard stabilized her, and medics with ALS transferred her to the closest medical facility, in this case, Naval Hospital. Dr. Wen confirms she is still hospitalized, but added she also had multiple comorbidities. He stresses that the vaccine is still very safe and encourages residents who have not done so to please go get the shot. The All Rise payments are finally being sent out. Department of Administration Director Edward Burns says they received the first batch of payment information from Revenue and Tax yesterday. DOA began processing some $19,500,000 worth of payments. They will send out 8,081 checks and 10,155 electronic fund transfers. The EFTs could be received as early as today or maybe even last night. Checks might be in the mail again by today or by Wednesday. DRT continues to work on the next batch of payments as part of the first in, first out process. And that's it for me back here in the news studio. Back to me in the radio studio.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Wow, you changed fast.
I do. Went from my yellow dress to my black jacket and black shirt. The serious car crash that occurred Saturday evening in PD has claimed a second life. As reported, a black Hyundai Tucson was traveling south by Polaris Point when the vehicle ran off the roadway and collided with a utility pole. A 29-year-old female was declared dead at the scene, and 2 female occupants were rushed to the hospital. According to GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau, while en route to Naval Hospital Guam, one of the victims, also a 29-year-old woman, had died from her injuries. This crash investigation remains open. This marks the island's 13th and 14th traffic-related fatalities of the year. The second man wanted in connection to last month's shooting at a home along Tranquilo Court in Harmon has been arrested. Detectives captured 31-year-old Justin Michael Duenas hiding out in the Totu area. He was being helped by Georgette Garrido to evade apprehension. Duenas' arrest follows last week's arrest of Jensen DeVellis. Both were arrested for attempted murder and aggravated assault. According to court documents, Duenas allegedly shot the victim in the chest and then got into a physical fight with him. Duenas was booked and confined while Garrido was booked and released. New York City public schools reopened for in-person learning today. The return of class for the nation's largest school district comes as pediatric COVID-19 cases have spiked in other parts of the country. Elise Preston reports from New York.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio welcomed back nearly 1 million students Monday as the nation's largest school district returned to in-person learning.
It's back to the normal routine, and it's better just to be with your teacher.
Masks are required in the classroom. Almost every room has at least 2 air purifiers, and all school staff must be vaccinated.
Kids coming to school today all across this city are going to experience a gold standard of health and safety measures.
The return to school in New York comes amid a nationwide spike. There are more than 750,000 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in kids between August 5th and early September. About 65% of eligible New York City school students are vaccinated, and vaccines for younger children may not be far off.
You could potentially have a vaccine available to children aged 5 to 11 by Halloween if everything goes well.
And a new scientific review of data that included 2 senior FDA officials finds vaccines remain so effective at preventing severe disease, including the Delta variant, that booster shots for the general public are not appropriate at this time. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Guam is one of several countries banned from entering the Philippines. Malacanang announces President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the release of the red list of countries where travel restrictions will be implemented. All passengers coming from countries such as Kosovo, Israel, North Macedonia, Switzerland, and Guam within 14 days immediately preceding arrival into the Philippines will be prohibited from entering the country until the 18th. The travel restrictions do not cover returning Filipinos who will fly back to the country through government-initiated or non-government repatriation programs, as well as through special commercial flights allowed under existing resolutions issued by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. HMS Queen Elizabeth is back. According to media reports, it is docked at Naval Base Guam for a scheduled stop-off in the UK's Carrier Strike Group deployment. The ship made a tweet on its official account, quote, half a day back in beautiful Guam for some scheduled maintenance. The UK-led strike group is currently in the Indo-Pacific region as part of its 28-week deployment, covering 26,000 nautical miles. The Queen Elizabeth last docked in Guam in August as part of a series of multinational training exercises that began in May. News out of the legislature: Senators Frank Blas Jr., Tony Atta, Joe San Augustine, Chris Duenas, and James Moylan have come together to introduce Resolution 162, requesting the governor establish a tourism attraction response plan, or TARP, to provide financial assistance to businesses that make up Guam's tourism industry. According to Senator Blas, he, along with the co-sponsors of the resolutions, met with business owners to talk about the state of the industry and what needs to be done to be sure that they are ready to welcome and to entertain tourists when they are able to visit us again. Unfortunately, the industry has taken a huge and devastating hit because of the pandemic, and if we want to remain a viable and competitive destination when travel restrictions are lifted, we have got to do what we can now to ensure that we are operative before they come. Prior to the pandemic, the tourism dollars accounted for 60% of the island's economy while welcoming over 1.6 million visitors. With a 93.8% decrease in tourists and over 90% of revenue lost, it continues to adversely impact the employment of over 20,000 island residents. According to representatives of the group that met with the senators, the Guam Visitors Bureau, GITA, GHRA, and the Chamber of Commerce were briefed on the need for a tourist attraction rescue plan and expressed support for the initiative. Haagen-Dazs is one of the many businesses on island that is Guam Safe certified by the Guam Visitors Bureau and carries the WTTC Safe Travel stamp.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Half day, my name is John Isaac Bohol, Assistant General Manager for Haagen-Dazs Guam. Haagen-Dazs felt it was important to get the Guam Safe Certified stamp because we wanted to show our employees, staff, even though we're all facing this pandemic, we wanted to make sure that everyone's taken care of, and we want to ensure our safety of our employees and the customers, that everyone is able to enjoy our ice creams here in the shop. And we also want to promote a clean and safe environment. For Haagen-Dazs, the Guam Safe Certified stamp, meaning that we're taking all the recommended and proper precautions to ensure that our staff, employees, are able to experience our half a day that we are known for. We want to ensure that customers that we take this pandemic seriously. We are doing the best that we can to provide a safe and sterile environment for the families and friends who wants to patronage our products. Haagen-Dazs is now taking on extra precautions to ensure the safety of our employees and staff from the office to the dining floor. We ensure our staffs to wash their hands frequently or every other task, and also we want them to use the proper PPE for every operations and during interactions with the customers. We make sure that we have a hand sanitizer by the entrance and also a sign-in sheet form for our customer who comes in and out. Using a proper PPE like masks, gloves, this will help us to prevent the contaminations and the spread of the virus.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
With your news in Chamorro, here's Ken Conception.
Buenas updates to get some to be sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank. Makonfirma ni KUAM News na unamko na Palawan sa ninamalango ni mabakuna ni segundo na amod gi UOG Field House. Maagang si Dr. Hoa Nuan ni Klinik Binakuna ane unun enfermera ripara na kulantisina humagong mauli ke Palawan. Gi durante ane marikonosi itaw te Guam National Guard sa mana establi kondisyon niya Zai ALS na medic siya sa matisferi watigi Nevo Hospital i Malango. Hakonfirma si Nuan nagagagi ay Palangang Hospital logwalo ki otro siya seryoso na sinot niya. Kasangan mas na sensuguridad i amod binakuna zai epoktori man mabakukunan o fanhano sa fan madulukin sigidas. Otro artikulo aji seryoso na aksidenteng kareta gipangin sabalo gi sa piti sa Pininoy segundo na biktima guhin na crash. Nuri ni por KUAM humananaw hadya yatulong na Hyundai Tucson gifyo ni Polaris Point ane finalagway ni driver sa Atopia Ligan Cemento gi ikang tunsalan. Adeklara 29 anos na Palawan na matay guhi sa dos otro na famalawan sa mamakonde insigidas para espitat. Segun si Sergeant Paul Tapao, spokesman para GPD, antitiyo hago espitat. Uno na biktima no 29 anos loko edad niya sa Penino ni Sidnodan niya. Destipaw ko membestiga ay crash. Este imina 14 na finaytay crash kareta desti tinituho ni Sakan. Yuto mo na sunto gifinut sa moro para pago na mates kini KUAM News. Baresta di maaliligaw na tao ni Nambadga. Diya incidentin mamaki gi tranquilo kor gi harmon gi mapos na mes. Masoda si Justin Michael Duenas, 31 anos na edad, no maatog izatoto. Inatutod as Georgette Garrido no maaresta. Tinatiti este no inarestan Jensen Develis gi mapos na semana. Turi dos maaresta por attempted murders and aggravated assault. Según ni dokumento ni Korte si Duenas pamaki biktima gi pitsonya pas mumu idos. Mabuk pas makandalo si Duenas. Bago sa Garrido sa mabuk pas masota. Para Guam News Network, Guam Second Conception. Yasuto ifinut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafato ni Familian Mizo gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
We know you're tired of hearing about COVID-19. Some of you are probably wondering whether this is ever going to end. However long it takes, we all have to do our part, including our children, to hold the line. You can protect yourself and your family by getting vaccinated.
And if you're already vaccinated, don't let your guard down because you can still give and get COVID-19. And if you're not vaccinated, remember that if you catch the virus, you could suffer more severe complications. At the end of the day, it's the choices we make to protect ourselves, our families, and our community that will control the spread.
We know it sounds repetitive at this point, but again, wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear your mask.
Together, we have to hold the line.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access.
Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
This season, KUAM Communications is ready to go with more games, more championships, and more sports specials guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV11. We're bringing you all the action and excitement brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer, Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, and Docomo Pacific.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink,
brought to you each week by Pure Alkaline Water and Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape,
airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the fields, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time off each Friday to talk, taste, and tempt you with all the latest and greatest food and drinks on Guam. Old faves, new hits, and everything else we can put in our bellies. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link, brought to you by King's Restaurants, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Devondale.
The Culture Club returns to KUAM Digital and KUAM News Weekend Edition, highlighting Guam's young artists, activists, and crafters as they work to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture. Watch this weekly feature on the digital platforms of KUAM News Weekend Edition, brought to you by Hanum.
Hey, good morning. We had a cool comment here. Jason Quintanilla Toves comments. Hey, let's try to stay positive. Everything is going to be all right. Thank you for the sun again. Thank you for the moon again. And thank you for the gang. At KUAM again. Peace. Right on. Guys, we're going to give away $500 today. Okay? You excited about that, Jay?
I am. And yesterday there was a little bit of a challenge. We're gonna mix up the challenges ever so slightly this whole week and everything like that. So remember, we get cat's out of the bag now. You have to do some sort of trivia that has to do with the voice, and then there is like a little curveball that we throw you. Like Chris is gonna hit you with a slider.
We did have some questions here. Well, Frame writes, pretty yellow dress, Sabrina. He a day.
Thank you.
My family, my life comments, go back to the 3 W's. Glenn comments, frustrating to get the information we need to help calm our fears and anxieties. What else we got here? So sad. Martina comments in, so sad Guam has been marked red zone from the Philippines. We can't even go to the Philippines. Wow.
It was very harrowing when Dr. Peter Lombard came on yesterday and broke down, and the very first slide he had, like off the bat, you might remember he has, he graphically charts out like all of the 50 states and the U.S. territories, and we are like right up there. I mean, we're right behind Tennessee, which is getting hammered.
Right.
And Dr. Pobutsky said that the other day. She goes, we're in lockstep with Tennessee and Kentucky and places in the Appalachian Mountains and places where it's almost sad to say, like when they have health crises that it's almost expected that they'll go through really hard times. But we're like right up there, man.
Yep. 704. There's another question here. Is the governor going to provide oximeters to the people?
That's an interesting one because yesterday during the press conference that the word oximeter came up multiple times, and they said if you can go out and pick one up. It ranges in price from I've seen them as low as 8, as high as 40. The one Sabrina and I actually got the very same one yesterday.
You guys got the bougie one.
Can we show yours, Bree?
Yeah, I heard they're about 20. Bree again spent 40.
There it is. Contact.
Yep.
So
That's
I got that one too, and it's the pulse oximeter. So what you do is, if you've never used one of these, they use it all the time in the hospital. But basically, you just hook it up to your. Is it a particular finger that you put in there?
Yeah, that was the one takeaway from the press conference. Dr. Cruz was like, "Go get you a pulse oximeter."
Yeah, we've got a doctor coming on.
Yeah, we have a doctor coming on.
I'm gonna ask him to tell me because I'm not sure. I think it's this finger. I actually do this with my mom when I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
And so I put it on her index finger.
But it measures your blood oxygen level, and
right.
He said if it goes below 95, then you need to seek medical attention.
Correct. And what we're seeing now is a rash of these dead on arrivals. The governor said it was alarming. That's totally an understatement. And then Dr. Jolene Uggan had talked about the silent hypoxia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that it's basically you're getting choked off and you don't even know it until you're gone. Right?
And people are waiting too long until
That's
they
the other
actually
thing.
call and
Look
and
at
see
this.
a doctor.
Yesterday we had a lady call in here on the show. By the way, 637-0094, that's our number.
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, we had a lady call in, and she tested positive. She had asthma, and she was saying that she couldn't get the Regencove treatment. Public health said no. But she was also saying that she's, starting to have a little trouble breathing. And so fortunately, Dr. Hoa was listening, and he said, hey, tell her to go to the emergency room. And that just shows that people, of course, us Chamorros were so scared to go to the doctor already, right? I mean, I had to get my blood pressure taken like how many different times just because when I show up at the clinic, it's like, oh my God, what's wrong now? What's wrong? You know what I mean? So already we have anxiety about going to the doctor, but it's serious, man. People are literally dying in their homes.
Yeah.
And the news, when the governor started the press conference with that news that there were 8 COVID-related fatalities over the weekend, I thought for sure, oh, here comes restrictions. Yeah. For sure, right? Wasn't that what you guys were thinking? I was like, oh, this is it. Yep, she's finally going to do something. Because I get, that the press conference yesterday, actually, I don't really get the point of it was not to reassure us because I think it freaked people out even more. Maybe they had that press conference to tell us to go out and get a pulse oximeter. But right after the Dr. Cruz said that, I started getting the messages. Hey, is she going to use the ARP money to buy a bunch of pulse oximeters and give them out to people who test positive? And I was like, that's a great idea. But, anytime we ask about this ARP money and what it's going to be spent on, we get our head bit off. So I don't even want to ask. I mean, that's sad. But it's a good point. What are we doing with this money?
And wasn't part of the JIC announcement like last night? I know they always do like bullet points, but one of it says, making sure that the community can recognize the emergency sign. So now they're starting to say it in that context and say, if you do have labored breathing,
right?
Like if when you lie down, we've seen in GMH professionals have said, we've got patients in there where they've got to lie on their stomach because like, lying in the normal way, you're not able to get enough breath into your lungs.
Correct. We did a story
Let me
on.
just go ahead and read that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, don't wait until it's too late. Look for emergency warning signs for COVID-19 and seek emergency medical care immediately, or call 911 if you're experiencing any of the following warning signs: trouble breathing, persistent pain or pressure in the chest, new confusion, inability to wake or stay awake, bluish lips or face.
I remember when I was my dad's caretaker, they said that when, because they gave us like, an orientation on, and I used the pulse oximeter on my dad as well. And they said, blue lips is always like a telltale sign. They're like, that's, you're not getting enough oxygen and you need to call 911 when that happens.
So we had this a similar story with Dr. Hoa, I think last week or the week before, where he was like, yeah, basically, if you're experiencing any type of difficulty breathing, go to the emergency room. Really, because what we're seeing, guys, is people are thinking, and Dr. Jolene talked about this. She even kind of mapped out a timeline of like, okay, day 5, you feel this. Day 7, 8, 9, 10, this is what you're feeling. If you've got the bad version of it. So that was one of the takeaways, was get the pulse oximeter. But for sure, right, I thought, there's going to be something coming down. And I think people were really surprised. And the comments I was getting, and you were even seeing it in the stream, was like, okay, what was that about? Because it really was kind of like, oh my God, all these people died, the hospital's screwed, but go get a pulse oximeter and wash your hands and see you in 2 weeks.
But you're right about it. It's kind of like a characteristic of our people to be really afraid of going to.
I mean, how afraid are you? Are you so afraid that you're going to die?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
My grandfather was like that. My dad was like that. And I get it, guys. Like some people say like, oh, I'm not feeling well, but I don't know how severe my symptoms are. I don't want to go to the ER because then I'm basically going to the belly of the beast. And
let's be real though, Jay. The Ballman's a great comment here, and this is, I never forget this. Many private sector and just regular people don't have health insurance.
That's a good point.
Don't or won't go to ER or doctor due to financial situation.
But
totally.
You even hear people that work at GMH and they're like, yeah, we're slammed and there's a lot going on here and we're tired. But if you're not feeling well, come in and we'll take care of you. Our place is, we'll make sure that you're safe.
Yeah.
We would rather have you feeling well than, stay home and something very, very dire happens.
I don't know, guys, but I just got to say this just to say it. But why did we wait 7 weeks into this surge? If it's so important to keep people from dying, why did we wait 7 weeks to tell them, like, hey, check your pulse oximeter, or hey, this is what's happening, or hey, look at all these, why? Why did we wait 7 weeks? We're into week 7 of this surge, and the governor showed up yesterday acting like she just figured out, oh my God, it's alarming, guys. Did you know there's COVID out there? Whoa, my God, it's alarming. Okay, bye. Really, though?
Was it 200, 300 cases that one day? That the highest ever? That was alarming.
Yeah.
That was
for the first
325, was it?
Yeah.
And it goes back to the messaging. Like, this is so important to tell people. Like, they're literally dying in their homes. And the 7th week of a surge is not the time to do that. You should have been out here weeks ago. People's lives could have been saved. Honest, that's the truth.
Well,
God's honest truth. People's lives could have been saved. Some people who died could be alive today.
And Dr. Uggan, who is local too, and she goes, and I know, the tendencies of how we do things, but she's like, just think about it like this. And she goes, just, simplify the equation. The longer you wait could be possibly you have a longer hospital stay. We use more resources. The time is going to be like longer and everything. And it's just easier if you get seen early.
Yeah. There was a comment here, guys, and I just wanted to kind of address this because I've seen it pop up. Roman comments in, has there been a conversation among professionals regarding Dr. Shea? And Dr. Shea will put things in these chats, right, that he's in, and then people will like screenshot it, and then it takes off, and people start asking about these things. So Dr. Shea he posted something about he's tracked just a bunch of miscarriages, and he believes they're related to the vaccine. But I did ask public health about this on Monday, August 23rd, and he said, well, Dr. Felix Cabrera said at the time, we are tracking that. We're not seeing the same rate among other OB-GYNs on island. As of now, we're following the CDC recommendations. So that's that. And then we did have, which doctor was it that came on and talked about, there was the two big medical groups that are now recommending that pregnant women get the vaccine. So there was that development. But we do ask about these things, guys. But
let's just also should point out that Dr. Shea is an OBGYN.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
right, yeah.
let's not.
Yeah, he is, and
discount.
Dr. Cabrera is not. Yeah,
Right.
Totally. So that's what I'm saying is when Dr. Shea or anybody puts out information and it goes all around and the government doesn't step in to verify it. Mm-hmm. Like, they put out these like false. They like to put out these things that say like false, right? They like to call out people.
And just so to clarify that he did, he wrote that he has documented 28 post-vaccine first trimester miscarriages thus far and notified public health.
Right.
But at least the correlation he was saying is those 28 people that did the women that did miscarry received the vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, is it related to the vax or is it just a temporal relationship? We don't know, right? So I mean, that's it. But again, he is an OB-GYN, and if it was something that should be disputed, then the administration and public health should come out and dispute it instead of letting it run rampant and fester. I don't know if that's the right word.
Are you surprised?
No. I'm not, but I'm saying, if they are going to spend energy to pick apart like WhatsApp messages that are going around about the lockdown, you guys have seen this. They put like a big fake news, right? Then why not address these kinds of things? I mean, are they paying attention? Because if Dr. Shea's saying that pregnant women are losing their baby after they've been vaccinated, then I think it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. I mean, if it's accurate, okay. If it's not, fine, but just come out and address it. And I don't
Maybe they will shortly.
I don't know. Yeah, but again, I just want to go back to this the press conference yesterday with kind of like the medical side of it, and we did our part. We bring doctors on all the time to talk about when you should go to the hospital and what to look out for when you get the COVID. We had Dr. Talking about what to look out for when your kids get it. But this is what I call the medical messaging. This should have been running ever since. I mean, ever since last year. Right? What happens when you get COVID? What should you do? When should you go to the doctor? What should you look out for? I mean, a year plus into this pandemic, and we're only now telling people, oh, go get a pulse oximeter? Really? It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
It is frustrating, but, we're beyond, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and that's where we're at right now is really like, what are you going to do? Are you coming out here to tell us it's bad? Hey, we already know. We've been paying attention. It's very bad.
It's like we're fending for ourselves at this point.
That's what I feel, yeah.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, I am.
Watch your distance.
Yeah. Stay home if you are sick, guys.
Wash your hands.
Stay home if you're sick.
And get vaccinated.
And get tested. Go get tested for the COVID, okay? Tizen, what's going on with the testing?
Tizens.
It's Tizen. They're also doing Southern Public Health on Friday. But I just got to again say that the medical messaging, that has to continue. It should have been up there a long time ago. We should already be inundated with messaging and information that if I get COVID, I could die at home because I don't go to the doctor. It shouldn't be now. You know what I mean? They just need help. I mean, obviously, the communications and the messaging, they need help from like professionals who know what they're doing, because people are dying out here because you guys aren't messaging and communicating properly. I'm sorry to say, but it's true. Messaging in this time, it's everything. Communicating with the people at this time, it's everything. We're not just talking about communicating, making the governor look good. We're talking about like life and death. Serious grown-up business. At 7:17, let's play.
Here's something I just thought about this. To put it into perspective, which is what we do on this show really, really well. Tomas Mangloni reported that the CNMI is now working to control and identify the variants up there. I wonder what they're doing in terms of because Bree and I were on that very first call last March when was it CHCC? What's the name of their hospital? I always get this wrong.
Yeah, CHCC.
Yeah, CHCC. And their medical director looked like directly into camera and had this you think Dr. Pobutsky is upfront and speaks frankly. I mean, she basically said, she's like, okay, if one person's got it, everybody on the island's got it. Everybody has to take this.
You have to act like everybody has.
And that's what Dr. Lombard said. He said, hey, testing is only going to capture this much of your picture, and what you're really looking at is this much. Mm-hmm. And it's true. So, I mean, look at my daughter, right? So she's sick over the weekend, and I'm not saying it's COVID, but I mean, she's sick, the boyfriend's sick. I said, don't come over for dinner, right? So, and I told her, I said, hey, do you want to go get tested? She knows that I'm starting to feel better. So there are people out there who are getting sick. Some of them are just staying home. Some of them are staying home and dying. Right? So please just go get tested, guys, because that's the first thing. It's like you got to know your status, right? If you have the COVID and you know it.
Or if you've been in close contact with somebody, just go. Don't wait for public health to call.
Yeah, really, at this point, don't wait for public health, guys, because they're drowning pretty much. They're drowning. They're really pushing this Regencov therapy, the monoclonal antibody.
They have that, and then I think it's Lilly. And that's that what
yeah, but it's like they made a big deal about this, and now we're hearing that we're losing so much of the monoclonal antibody treatment and shipment. We're hearing that they didn't even know. So who asked yesterday in the press conference?
One of the reporters.
One of the
may
reporters.
Have been from the Post, I think. Heidi. It might have been Heidi.
I think it was Heidi. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it was Heidi. Asking about how much Regencov we had.
Yeah.
And they answered the question, but not answered the question,
Yeah.
Which came, we had the story yesterday, and you had asked, I think, Janella, on how much we had, and she didn't have the answer during the program.
Yeah.
And then we heard from GMH that they had a shipment, I think, of 168 vials.
Yeah, but I heard only 20 of them.
Yeah, only 20 were actually usable because the remaining didn't meet certain temperature requirements. And so, from what I understand, it's not that it's not being shipped here properly. 24 were within the right temperature range. The remaining 144 vials were deemed unusable. So
144. That's 144 vials.
Yep.
Wow.
That could have gone to help prevent hospitalizations.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, that the problem is. That when they get here, I guess it's not getting to GMH fast enough. So they're being shipped here properly, but there's some kind of hold up.
It's sitting somewhere
right
in the hot sun.
So I heard they're working to address that.
Well, thank God.
Yeah.
And so public health, we know that they're waiting for the shipment. We've got this team here that's supposed to be helping us administer vaccines and these treatments. So, again, I mean, we're just praying for the best. Because if they're going to stand up this treatment and they're going to tell people that it's an option to keep them out of the hospital, then it's got to be available. Mm-hmm. It's just like the testing. If you're going to tell people to go get tested, then, my God, you should provide testing in a way where they don't have to wait 2-3 hours. I'm sorry, is this does it sound like I'm speaking another alien language?
No.
Yeah, because you shouldn't. I mean, are we trying to save lives here, or are we just trying to keep drowning? I mean, we have the money to hire people. We got $600 million. Let's go. If you need warm bodies, hire them. Can we play this clip here?
Sean Gumatata was just messaging me. He goes, hey, since you guys were talking about it, you have any recommendations for a pulse oximeter? I was like, it's... If you're wondering about the difference in price, I'm actually just writing them back right now. It's typically like the digital display is a little bit more fancy on the one that like Bree got and everything like that. But basically, they all do the same thing. I mean, they take your pulse, they tell you what your blood oxygen level, if it is. And as Dr. Jolene Uggan strenuously emphasized yesterday, if it's below 95, that's when you need to just call the doctor and let them know.
Right. And we're going to get on with Dr. Ho. And,
but again, I've seen pulse oximeters as low as like between $8 to $12, as high as $40.
Yeah.
But is this for if you test positive, you should have it, or just in general?
Well, I guess in general, because there's other things other than COVID that can affect your respiratory. But they should have this, like if you test positive, I don't know, call me crazy, right? But if I was calling the shots, you test positive, you go to the testing site, you get positive, they should give you a kit. You should get a kit from the government that has your zinc, has your vitamin da-da-da-da, has your pulse oximeter, and has a pamphlet that says what to do if you're positive, what to look out for.
That's the other thing.
When to call the doctor.
The vitamin cocktail that Dr. Wen was saying people should be taking. Vitamin D and zinc.
Yeah. And vitamin C.
And vitamin C, yeah.
Yep.
And I actually bought some, like
Thank
a
you.
big bottle of vitamin C and vitamin D.
We get our vitamins.
We're getting our vitamins, that's for
so
sure.
every day, I come in a little bit earlier, but when Bree comes in, she's like, hey, good morning, Jason. Yeah, and I wrap it up in a napkin, and I give, I pass those out.
We did have some comments here. Anicia writes in, the people in Guam have been waiting to hear from her, meaning the governor. Almost 1,000 people were watching. I was so disappointed in the press conference that I logged off. Emily Ann, she's just ridiculous already. Avoided speaking to the people of Guam like she owed us money. Ironic that she graced us with her presence the same day payments for the infamous All Race Act were set to be released. Rosemary comments in, it was mentioned only once last year to purchase a pulse oximeter, and almost a year later, it's strongly encouraged to get one immediately? Face slap.
Who was the physician who mentioned it like last year? Was it Dr. Cabrera? I know somebody brought it up like last year, and that's how I just remember the word coming up. But.
Jonah comments, our government has failed us. What do we do now? Martina comments, the government needs to help out and hear the people of Guam. The help needed is medical insurance, price controls, anything related to the Biden rescue plans. Keena, good morning from Vancouver, Washington. Good morning.
You know where Vancouver
here's
is
another
near, Chris?
one. Where? What?
Nintendo's headquarters.
Oh, no way.
That's up there near Vancouver. It's nearby.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense that they don't invest in their website or other resources to educate people on what to do when they get sick, information for caregivers, or the aftercare. Rosemary, when calling people with positive results, doesn't public health inform the steps to ensure people don't wait too long before deciding to go to the hospital? They surely dropped the ball on this one. Last year, Bev comments, last year when you were tested, you were told to go to self-quarantine until your results are available to reduce the spread, but that important message is not being said anymore. Yep. Natasha, Auntie Lou should use some of that money, the ARP money, I assume, to help public health and the people and hire them some temporary help. Yep. Officer Baggy comments in, you could also get arrested for one of the booked and confined offenses, and GPD could administer a free COVID test for you. There you go. There's one testing avenue. I'm pretty sure you don't have to wait 3 hours, right? Get her done right away, Baggy. What's sad is some of the criminal elements are running around not caring, and they test positive for COVID. Wow. Prior to getting confined. True story. Yeah, guys.
Those 12 at DOC?
My lady Maria commented, Amazon has the pulse oximeters too. But
good tip, Maria.
Support the local economy though. You can go to the pharmacy, but if that doesn't work, get you one on Amazon. It's probably like $2. 725. You ready? I want to play the clip of the lockdowns, but we got the doctor is in, so we're going to go to the doctor, and then we're going to play the clip in which the governor responding to KUAM News' Nestor Lecanto's question about Dr. Ann Pobutsky saying a lockdown would work. Right, and so we'll get that coming up. But first, let's go to American Medical Center in Manila, where the former chair of the Physicians Advisory Group, the way I look at it, guys, is he is one of the voices that led us through the pandemic. So he's someone I still want to listen to. Dr. Hola Wen, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Doc.
Good morning, Doc. Oh, he can't hear. He can't hear us. Wow.
Can you hear us now, Doc?
I can hear you now.
All right, good. Thank God. Whew, that's a nightmare of mine.
So what did you make of the press conference?
There's nothing in there. Not quite sure. It's just some announcement about the death on arrival, but I don't see anything regarding any change in the policy from that press conference. So,
did you anticipate that, Doc? Because her open, right? When she opened and she was like, boom, 8 deaths over the weekend, dead on arrival. This is what's happening. I thought for sure she was like setting the table to say, hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to close the bars, or we're going to, do whatever.
Yeah, we definitely need to have some restriction. I tell you, we're probably still going up. We're not even curve anything yet. Oh gosh. I tell you, the big clinic like AMC, SDA, and FSP, we just like the pulse of the community, and I tell you, we just getting killed. We just getting hammered. So as long as we can see this 20 plus positive in the clinic with sick patient, we're not slowing down.
Doctor, when you've been with the Physicians Advisory Group, like Chris mentioned, since the beginning of this whole thing, so you've been a part of these sorts of discussions, and I'm sure lockdown has come up in the past. You've talked about restrictions at the beginning of this surge. What do you think is the issue that we're not seeing more restrictions in place? We're not seeing bars closed. All I hear is let's go back to basics. It worked in the past, but we're dealing with the Delta variant. It's like they've been saying, it's more contagious. The infection transmissibility rate, it's a lot quicker. It's spreading faster. And really, how can we just continue to say, just wear your mask, get the shot, watch your social distance? It just seems like something drastic needs to happen. We need to control the spread.
I'm just not quite sure. We close certain section of business, especially the bar, for a long time because we know that's the cluster. The only thing difference now in the last 2 surges, we are so reluctant, for whatever reason is, to close the bar. I don't know why. It's frustrating. I tell you, Chris talked about the compassion fatigue yesterday. And I tell you, it's from my patient perspective, they see that on the healthcare worker, and it is sad. I'll tell you, we are getting beat up, and I wish that the policymaker, like the cow and the governor, they need to go to the testing site. They need to go to the GMHER, the hospital, GIMC, and just spend a day there, and even at the big clinic, to see how things run. And I tell you, I'm not quite sure how long this whole healthcare system is going to last. Because I'm telling you, we're not even begin to control this one yet. It's going to get worse. So I'm not quite sure. This is frustrating. You can make all the policy, but people that at the front line, the policeman, the firefighter, the ER, the hospital, the clinic, I tell you, they have so good a hearted, but at a certain point, they're gonna break down. It's and we don't do anything. I don't think we listen to them seriously. Dr. Allen and the physician from GMC are very nice yesterday, and I tell you, but they know they can break anytime. it's hard. It's very hard. I'm telling you, just I don't know how we're gonna pass the message. Instead of telling you, just go in there. I talked to your physician and at GMH and endorsed some physician over to them, and the physician that I know is so upbeated. I can hear their voice. Is frustrated. They tire. And I couldn't imagine to be in their place in the emergency room. At the clinic level, I think it's bad, but at their level, oh my goodness, my heart for them.
So what would you, if you were still the chairperson of the Physicians Advisory Group, what would you be recommending to the governor right now?
Put a restriction immediately, like now.
Like what?
You got to close the bar. That's number one. And low down the gathering down to about 10 at this point. We have to, because the total lockdown is not an option. The only one that survived the total lockdown is the people that work for Guam. Every private business, every private entity, every person that works for a private company will suffer. And I tell you, we cannot afford to do that.
But Doc, let me just play the devil's advocate here, right? So the governor has $600 million in the bank. When you talk about some type of lockdown, and I'm not sure, are we talking about like lockdown, or are we just talking about scaling back some major restrictions, right? But the governor has the money. She has the money to help the businesses if she's going to control the spread by, limiting what they're going to do. And we have the money. So what would you say to that?
Yeah, I think the money should go out to help people. I think it really needs to go out and help people. We don't have any more federal money coming in, and this Delta virus is still, to me, it's getting worse. We have other variants in the community going to come up in the future. I think the earmark for the hospital, $370 million. You're talking about 5-10 years from now, if ever going to happen. That money is right now is need to be geared toward the people. I tell you, I know the new hospital is very important to have. Okay, but at this point, to earmark for something so far out, at the same time that the whole island is suffering, they got to change in their thinking somehow. I'm a physician, but to me, the healthcare is part of my work. And I think that I know the new hospital is important, like I say, but it's so far out. And I think that we can work in a different way to get the federal fund to build one. But at this point, you have $300 million sitting in the bank, and people don't have a job, they don't have health insurance. The power get turned off. It's kind of hard to see. And again, there's the biggest thing that we haven't talked about is depression and suicide. I tell you, we have not even touched that on this past year and a half.
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah. So it's but you got to. I'm telling you, the restriction had to become immediately. I do not see how we are not doing that. We now week number 6, number 7 now, and everything have not been changed for the last 2 weeks, right? Nothing. But I said the number will continue to go up, guys. We're going to be triple digit for quite a while. I think that report 267 and 30 positive yesterday. There's a fluke there somewhere, but it's not 30.
Well, it was 30 out of 264 tests, so the positivity rate was still up there. But you're right, the way they're reporting the numbers from over the weekend.
Total 174.
The total was 174. So usually on a Monday we get the cumulative results, and yesterday was 30 because they reported what they would normally report on a Monday on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so
correct.
From the clinic standpoint, I tell you it's way over 100 because clinic alone we have over 20 yesterday, so we know that's not slowing down.
Yeah.
And so we have to do something right away because until we dig ourselves a hole, So this virus either is going to burn out by itself in several weeks, and the hospital and healthcare going to bear the burden, or we have to put restriction and it take 2 cycles on the virus, so it take about 3 to 4 weeks for it to come down, even if we put the restriction together.
Mm-hmm. Doc, can you talk a little bit more about the restrictions? Because I know you said 10, but the governor's already, her executive order, refined executive order, it's 10 vaccinated individuals.
Right.
Indoors, 25 vaccinated individuals. Outdoors, 100%, right, occupancy.
Yeah.
For the restaurants and the bars. No, this doesn't apply to, I think, church or funerals, things like that. So when you say restrictions, can you be more specific?
Yeah, I think that 10 should be restriction across the board, period, vaccinated, unvaccinated. I think the church and every gathering, even a restaurant, business, everything needs to go down to 50% and social distance. The high-risk business like bar, it got to be closed completely. We have to go back to several months ago where we did the same just to try to curb this virus. So I would say 50% of the business, even the church, like I say, we have to do that. Because right now, we're not doing anything different. So 100% on the surge of this magnitude and this on the Delta variants, the longer we wait, the worse we're going to get.
What do you think it is? Is it the politics? What is it? I'm still trying to figure out, why aren't we taking more drastic measures, more stricter, restrictions?
I think that, I tell you, we cannot look at the hospital, and that's one of the decision makers that a lot of people not ICU patient, and that's what we hear talking all the time. But as a physician, I tell you, and I don't think that any physician that truly see COVID would tell you that ICU or non-ICU should be treated the same. It's going to take a lot of manpower, put the healthcare people at the great risk, and take the bed away from the non-COVID patient. So we all treat them the same, either they stay a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Every admission to the hospital should be the same, and that should be based strictly on decision making on what restrictions should be made. Right now we're in the 70. Right now, I would say that there's a possibility that we hit 100, and that's reality. If we keep going with triple digit in the community, we start seeing children as young as less than 2 months old now that turn positive. It's hard. Some children don't get sick, but again, you can't afford to lose a child. And I know we have one pediatric patient in the hospital, but we don't want to follow the trend in the state that children hospital again full. So those are I think the hospital should be the main decision maker on the restriction. And right now at 70 something, I know we have 2 hospitals now that take COVID, but it's just time to really put a restriction. I say 50% of all the occupancy in the hospital, in the church, the business, the restaurant, everything else, and certain business like the bar had to be closed temporarily at this point in order to curb the surge. Again, and encourage people to go out and get immunization. That's one of the big part to fight this virus, and people should go out there. There's we still have certain percentage of people out there that still are in the borderline of make decision, and I would say that to get out and get your vaccination So that way, if you get sick, at least, the severity is not there. So you don't end up in the hospital. We have fully vaccinated people in the hospital, but you can see that they're getting older now. So I think the vaccine for the elderly started to wean off as expected. Like I said, when we get triple digit in the community, it's going to get to the elderly.
Right.
So we got to put the elderly by Curtis search somehow. The only way you can do it is through restriction.
Right, Doc, but right now the restrictions we have in place, they only target the unvaccinated.
I understand. That's what my concern is. I understand that the target unvaccinated, but remember, restriction got to go across everybody. The vaccinated people still can transmit the virus, as we well know. So if you don't restrict the vaccinated also, temporarily the surge is over, then we continue to have the surge. Okay.
Doc, so you don't think we're in the eye of the storm? Because the governor yesterday in the press conference said that we're in the eye of the storm right now.
We haven't come close yet. If we don't do restriction, we will continue to go into the eye. I don't see what we do anything different. Sorry, right now.
We're in the eye of the most horrendous storm.
4 weeks ago.
Does she know the eye is like the calm part? Because if this is the calm part, bro, I don't want to see the other half. Let's check.
It's very important. So we had to do that. But Sabrina, we talked about the sign of hypoxia before,
right?
And we need to remind people again. And when we identify a positive person, especially the high risk one, we always stress about the sign of hypoxia, that you stay at home. And what's the difference with this is that so you have a normal person that dropped the oxygen saturation less than 95 down to 92, 91%. A normal person would feel it. But with this COVID, you don't feel it. And that's the difference. And when you start feeling it, it's really too late. You really have to run really quick. You might feel tired. You might feel drowsy. But you're not gasping for air yet. Okay, but I'm telling you, you're going to feel tired, feel drowsy. And you think, well, I'm just tired because I'm sick. And that's the huge mistake right there. That's what you need to go right away. And again, pulse ox is something that's very important to have. We bought about 1,000 pulse ox at AMC, and we give it out to the people in high risk, at free of charge, just because we know that that's very important for them to have. Wow. Somehow we need to let the high risk patient know that it's very important to monitor the pulse ox multiple times a day, despite how you feel. Okay, because like I say, you can drop down to 92% and you just feel just correct, like normal. But when it hits you, it's like a hammer. So you really have to stress that in a high risk patient, especially you have multiple comorbidity.
And so we did follow the doctor's orders. Dr. Mike Cruz, as well as Dr. Hoa, has suggested getting the pulse oximeter. Sabrina was able to get one at the drugstore?
Yes, at the pharmacy.
A pharmacy, yes. $40.
Right. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, she got the nice one. This one has Bluetooth, right?
Yeah, you can
all right, Doc. So I got it because we knew you were coming on the show, and people who may not have seen a pulse oximeter or don't know what it is, we were hoping that you could kind of walk us through how to use this thing.
Okay. It's very easy to use.
Yeah. Well, how do you read it? I just don't know. So.
Very small. You can put that in your purse or carry that on your pocket, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to first turn the on button first.
Oh yeah, turn it on. I'm doing that.
That's key.
You turn it on and then you put your finger in, Bree.
Yeah, you can put your index finger in there. That's probably the most common finger people use.
It doesn't matter if it's left or right, right?
Yeah, matter. It should be the same. And you have two numbers there. One is your heart rate. And then one is the pulse oximeter that have the oxygen saturation on it. And you just have to look at the oxygen saturation. Never mind the heart rate, but the O2 sat is very important to look at. and anything, you should be above 95%. Give a minute or two to kind of read it. Okay, so it's gonna bounce up and down, but after about a minute or two, you should be, on the average where you are already. So if below 95%, take some nice deep breath, and if it doesn't go up above 95%, then you have to be very careful. Like I say, you do not have to have any symptom. If that number go down to 92, if you breathe normal, you head to emergency room. I tell you, it's just not normal for anyone to be at 92%. Again, this virus, at 92%, you don't feel nothing. Okay, unlike when you don't have the virus, 92%, you will feel something. So that's why they have
99 over, I guess, 86.
Yeah, the 86 is your pulse, 99 is your oxygen saturation. So that's what it should be. Okay, so you have to get it, and I say it's small enough. Sabrina, you can put that in your pocket and you walk around everywhere. It's very light.
It also comes with a
lanyard.
Yeah, a lanyard.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, real quick, but while Chris is gonna take his reading, Doc, how many times a day should people do this?
I just tell them check, 4 or 5 times a day, breakfast, dinner, and bedtime. You have to check them.
All right.
If you down below 95%, I would check every hour.
And
because
it doesn't matter if you have COVID or not. You should be checking your levels. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Especially during this time.
Yeah, especially I tell you, if you have any comorbidity, I don't care how old you are, if you have multiple comorbidity, it's very important for you to check. If you are 18, 20, and 30 and you have no comorbidity, it's not as important. But if you're taking medication chronically, you have to be very cautious and use this thing. Like I said, they have a lot everywhere. Just go get it. They kind of they're not expensive. Some of them, like I say, around $18, $20. So
there's a question here, Doc. Can someone just have shallow breathing normally?
Even the shallow breathing, it doesn't affect the lung in exchange of oxygen. So even you can have shallow breathing, your oxygen should be 99%, and have to both 95%. The shallow breathing just have nothing to do with the exchange of oxygen. The only way that you can have problem with this thing, because the virus affect the ability for the lung to extract the oxygen, and you're going to drop the pulse oxygen saturation below 95%.
So that's across the board, Doc. So somebody who might be like asthmatic or a lifelong smoker, or like even like a competitive athlete on the other side and everything like that, the pulse ox reading should be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's some very rare, there's some chronic COPD people out there that run a very low oxygen, and those people know who they are. They usually have an oxygen supplementation at home, So those people will run low oxygen saturation, but those are very few in in our community. So, but the rest of us should not run low in oxygen saturation.
Well, Doc, I'm at 96, 72.
Yeah,
97,
it's very,
70.
But guys, this thing can change within an hour.
Yeah.
So someone
I should just walk around it with it on my finger all day?
Yeah. So someone can give you a thought, but an hour later, they crash. So it's really, really quick. So that's what you want to be careful on. Monitor your oxygen saturation of pulse ox. Yeah. So silent hypoxia is something very real on this one. And again, we talked about it during the second surge. We just didn't, mention that on this one until yesterday. But again, we really highly encourage people to do that all the time. Okay, so
and should we rely on a single reading, like every like say, Doc, if it goes low and everything like that, should we just try like another reading, or if it's like too high and say take the average of 3, or is one pretty good?
If I have a 92, 91%, I keep it on. I
keep it on.
And like I say, the symptom might be that you feel a little bit drowsy or you feel tired. again, most people think that it's because they're sick, they feel that way, but it's not. So if you feel the symptom, time to go straight to emergency room. Don't go to the clinic, okay? You gotta go to ER because you're wasting your time. The clinic will transfer you to the emergency room if you hypoxic anyway, okay? It's tough, but just hang tight because I tell you, we not anywhere come close to where we heading downward. I think we're a long way from heading downward.
All right. Well, in
Damn, Jay, what's going on over there? You're 102. You right?
No, that was the heart rate.
Oh yeah. No, are you all right? No.
102.
We had a comment. What kind of coffee are you guys drinking? Yeah.
Okay, so Christopher, despite the I know that I don't want the adverse reaction we had the other day, that kind of whole optimization. Those are very, very, very rare. Okay, but the vaccines are very, very safe. Okay, do I fully support the vaccine? Yes, I tell you, I'm 110% support the vaccine. It's very safe. That's a rare incident that the person have, and the person have comorbidity. And so we kind of look at this incident and kind of learn and implement certain safety issue to the future outreach. Okay, but those are something you don't normally see. It's a zebra, it's a needle in a haystack that we're looking for, and so that's something that it should not concern anyone to get the vaccine. So if the time where it's my turn to get the third shot, I will get the third shot without any hesitance.
We did have a question, Doc. Are you guys giving the booster? Are we still looking at September 20th? Because now what's happening?
FDA, right?
I mean, I'm getting people asking me if they can go get it.
Yeah, the booster is right now given to immunocompromised patients. Again, we are giving already. We give multiple booster to the people that have chemotherapy, people who have autoimmune disease, people are very high risk, that determined by physician. Hey, these people have their shot back in December and January, so we go ahead and give that. So yeah, booster already given already. Okay, the third shot will be hopefully for other people, and sometime in the next 2 weeks or so. But if I have a choice, I would tell you the healthcare worker, the front line, should already have already.
Wow.
Wait another week on the 20th don't make sense when you are the top of the search right now. And as you can see, Lillian say that the healthcare worker already been sick. So we are bringing down our nursing staff, our physician. It hit the clinic already. Because once you're exposed to COVID patient all day long, you're gonna get it. So wait a week. I don't know. Sometimes we read too much in black and white. We got to use our head sometime.
Thank you, Doc. Any further questions, Sabrina?
No.
I think we just want to ask you to call your old buddies on the PAG and be like, hey.
Yeah, we still work together, guys. We have to work together on this one. Doesn't matter which side of the fence you are in, we have to work together, because I'm telling you, we have one common enemy, right? It's the COVID-19. So we got to put everything on the side and work together to fight this one. So we might have different opinion, but I tell you, you have to take opinion as a criticism to improve. That's the thing. So it's not because no one 100% right. I'm not 100% right. Nobody 100% right. But we have to be, listen, accept it, because there's one goal we have is people in Guam, and we have to protect them.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Have a good day. Be
You
safe.
too.
Thanks, Doc.
You be safe. We got our pulse oximeter. We're good to go now. Masks off, everyone. We're okay.
We got to do the hourly oximeter check.
No, hey, the pulse oximeter is the new mask. Make it fashionable. Get your alma mater on there.
Sabrina, Jason, can I say one thing?
Yes.
I really want to say thank you for the hospital. GMH, GRMC, Naval Hospital. I can't say thank you so much enough for those people who work in there. I tell you, they are the last line, and my hats to all of them. They really put themselves in front of their family and everything else. So they really deserve everything that we give to them.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you, Doc.
That's the word.
There you go. Dr. Hola Wen, the former chair of the Physicians Advisory Group, 757. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Yeah. I also, though, would like to say thank you to the medics out there, because they're the ones also, when you hear about the dead on arrival, they're responding to these expired persons at home, and they're testing positive. So thank you also just to all our frontliners.
There you go. 758.
So you know what? When you guys say your prayers tonight before you go to sleep and everything like that, send some upstairs to the man for our nurses, for our doctors, for our firefighters, for the medics, for the cops, for everybody who's busting their butt.
Yep. And for the people of Guam, that they would be guided through this wilderness that is the COVID. It's 7:58. Quick break, and we're coming back on KUAM TV next. Good morning.
Take in the panorama. We got your 6.
At 6 a.m. with the link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6. Good morning, Guam, and good morning, KUAM TV.
Good morning, everybody. And you know what? We have a major reason why you guys want to stay with us throughout the show. Actually, we have 500 reasons why you guys want to stay with us. Because we are giving away $500. 500 smackaroonies. 5 C notes, however you want to say it. Whatever denomination you want to use and everything. $500 US we will be giving to you, because we're all going through a bunch of stuff right now, and everybody loves The Voice. I was a music journalist in college and everything like that. It's a fantastic show. Sabrina is a massive fan. Who's your favorite voice guest, by the way? I know you're going to say Blake because of the Oklahoma thing.
Yep.
Right?
She's country gangsta.
She's a little bit country, but she's also a little bit rock and roll.
Well, she's a whole lot of gangster.
Shout out to Marie Osmond, by the way. Yeah, so we have a contest, and you saw yesterday our winner, Jo. She was fantastic. She came on and she even sang, "You Are My Sunshine." And
my only sunshine.
Yeah, she sang 2 bars and she did wonderfully. And Jo was our first winner. We're doing this throughout the week.
She set us up for that, though. She's like, "Okay, you guys ready? You ready?
Yeah. But
I thought she was like gonna totally bust out at like a
I thought she
Christina
was gonna
Aguilera
do-
or something.
You know what?
Or Ariana Grande.
You know what though? If there's one thing I've learned from going with the KUM crew to like karaoke all these years, there's a word they use, right? Sandbagger, right? It's the people that like kind of like say like a former reporter of ours. She's a lawyer now. She has her own law firm in California. Gracie Cayenne, and you guys might remember. We took her out to karaoke one time. And we're like, "Hey, Gracie, sing!" And the first thing she does, she's like, "No, I don't want to sing. I don't know how, guys. I don't like this. I'm embarrassed." Some say love, it is a river, and we're like, "Damn." So the people that kind of like play it down in the beginning, those are like, okay, that's like diva level already.
Yep.
And there is a diva joining the cast of The Voice this year, Miss Ariana Grande herself.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that how you do that? I don't even know. I probably just did it wrong.
No, I don't.
Do it
don't
again?
know.
It's like yeah, something like that. I said it yesterday. I've got an Ariana Grande playlist on Spotify. I am a fan. Her voice is absolutely amazing, and she is going to be on The Voice. And we want to hear your voice answering our question. That's coming up later on the show. And we want to give you $500. So it's something a little bit about music. And we're not going to tell you what the question is, but trust me, you guys are really going to like today's trivia question, and you guys are going to like the challenge. Just stay with us because we want to give you $500.
All right, 8:03. Coming up, Hospital Administrator Lillian Posadas, Chief Public Health Officer for Guam, Chima Bakwem. It's on the way right now, though. Let's go ahead and do the news. Our 8 o'clock newscast, proudly brought to you by Pacific Points, with the very latest from the KUAM News team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas-Mantanani.
Howdy, everybody. According to last night's Joint Information Center report, Guam recorded 174 new positive cases. These are from tests conducted over the weekend and Monday. To date, there have been a total of 12,553 officially reported cases of COVID-19, with 168 deaths. 1,822 cases are in active isolation and 10,563 not in active isolation. The CAR score is 37.2. A total of 73 people are hospitalized with COVID-19, nine receiving ICU level of care, 4 patients are on ventilators. Out of the 73 hospitalizations, the JIC report said 44 are unvaccinated. The status of 7 is unknown. 1 is ineligible. 21 are vaccinated. The JIC also reports that 2 Guam EPA employees tested positive for COVID. The employees work in the operations building. As a result, the weekly recreational beach monitoring will be suspended until further notice. As for vaccinations, a total of 112,992 eligible island residents have been fully immunized against COVID. And here's more news from the back in our television studios.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Today, everybody, it's me again. An alarming 9 new COVID-related deaths were reported yesterday, including a majority who were dead on arrival at the hospital. The governor held a news conference to update the community on this frightening new trend. Here's Nestor Lecanto.
Appearing at her first news conference in several weeks, this is how the governor summed up this latest COVID surge.
We are in the eye of the most horrendous storm. And in that situation, we need to just all rally together and be united on this.
The governor described an alarming new trend in which multiple people have been brought to the hospitals dead on arrival. GMH Medical Director Dr. Jolene Uggan says she believes the victims might have suffered from silent hypoxia.
One of the biggest advice that I give for the community is if you are testing positive for COVID, that you purchase a pulse oximeter. Because this pulse oximeter at days 5 and on from your exposure is something that needs to be checked several times during the day, because you will not know that your oxygen levels are that low. And that's what I think is contributing to these dead on arrivals.
Dr. Uggan says if you register less than a 95 on the oximeter, you need to get to the hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, despite the new trend and the multi-week surge, the governor says she believes the current measures are providing enough protection, although they have talked about other options.
We have discussed lockdowns. We are looking at what we can do to help, maybe not a total lockdown, but maybe some other restrictions.
But the repeated message from the governor and health officials was to get vaccinated.
It is the fact that at the hospitals, the severity of the illness is not seen with vaccinated patients. You heard their census, and that most of the people that are in ICU are not vaccinated. Most of the people that are on the ventilators are not vaccinated. We're seeing dead on arrivals that are not vaccinated, and we're seeing longer duration of hospital cases not vaccinated.
The governor says they're even ahead of President Biden's just announced 6-step plan for fighting the virus, including more rapid testing and monoclonal treatment to head off the disease before it requires hospitalization. But she also urges the community to stick to the basics of what has worked before.
Wear your mask, watch your distance, wash your hands, and get vaccinated.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Public Health is preparing to open up what's called an infusion center where monoclonal antibody treatments will be administered. As Daniel Perez reports, the center will be located in Manilao and manned by medical professionals sent by the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
FEMA's team of doctors and medical professionals should be on the island now to augment and expand the agency's administration of monoclonal antibody treatments.
So we are anticipating the FEMA team to arrive sometime today or tonight, and for the next day or so, they will be undergoing orientation and training. The important thing now is getting the team ready and everything set up so that we can begin the infusion.
According to Public Health PIO Janela Carrera, 20 FEMA personnel will arrive on the island today, while 2 arrived last week. They will be manning an infusion center being set up at the Manilao Senior Center.
So our target is for Wednesday to begin infusion of the monoclonal antibody therapy here. So that's why you see that starting today we are beginning to do the setup, and that's what the beds are for. So hopefully what we'll have as a normal part of our strategy is infusion therapy as well. So we want to increase the number of doses of infusion therapy or courses of infusion therapy to, perhaps maybe 80 a day or even more.
Public Health was set to receive 96 doses of the REGEN-COV treatment last Friday. However, they are unsure if it arrived or not, according to Carrera. The doses are not only necessary for the infusion center to launch, but to address the number of people who have tested positive and signed up to receive the treatments.
We do have a wait list. I believe there are about 30 patients, and these are patients who were referred last week from the Tees and Test site.
The MAB treatment is part of a mitigation strategy to help cut down the rising numbers of hospitalizations. It's also part of President Biden's plan to counter the pandemic.
What we are really excited about, though, is that I know President Biden announced that he wants to increase the amount of monoclonal antibody therapy for the entire nation, and that, of course, is inclusive of territories.
The MAB treatment are emergency use authorized by the FDA for treatment of mild to moderate symptoms of COVID-19 in adults and pediatric patients. In order to receive the treatment, you must meet certain criteria and be referred by a physician. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Daniel Perez.
As many of you already know, GMH and GRMC have already been administering the REGEN-COV treatment. However, as reported, the hospital ran out of doses last week. GMH spokesperson May Habib confirms that the hospital received a new shipment of 168 vials on Saturday, but only 24 were within the right temperature range, meaning the remaining 144 vials were deemed unusable. KUAM also confirms that an elderly woman had an adverse reaction to her second vaccine shot at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse over the weekend. Dr. Hola Wen was called to the vaccination clinic by an attending nurse after the elderly woman experienced respiratory distress. During the monitoring period, personnel from the Guam National Guard stabilized her, and medics with ALS transferred her to the closest medical facility, in this case, Naval Hospital. Dr. Wen confirms she is still hospitalized, but added she also had multiple comorbidities. He stresses that the vaccine is still very safe and encourages residents who have not done so to please go get the shot. The All Rise payments are finally being sent out. Department of Administration Director Edward Burns says they received the first batch of payment information from Revenue and Tax yesterday. DOA began processing some $19,500,000 worth of payments. They will send out 8,081 checks and 10,155 electronic fund transfers. The EFTs could be received as early as today or maybe even last night. Checks might be in the mail again by today or by Wednesday. DRT continues to work on the next batch of payments as part of the first in, first out process. And that's it for me back here in the news studio. Back to me in the radio studio.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
The serious car crash that occurred Saturday in Petey has claimed a second life. As reported, a black Hyundai Tucson was traveling south by Polaris Point when the vehicle ran off the roadway and collided with the utility pole. A 29-year-old female was declared dead at the scene, and 2 female occupants were rushed to the hospital. According to GPD spokesperson Paul DePau, while en route to Naval Hospital, one of the victims, also a 29-year-old woman, had died from her injuries. This crash investigation remains open. It marks the 13th and 14th traffic-related fatalities of the year. The second man wanted in connection to last month's shooting at a home along Tranquilo Court in Harmon has been arrested. Detectives captured 31-year-old Justin Michael Duenas hiding out in the Totu area. He was being helped by Georgette Garrido to evade apprehension. Duenas' arrest follows last week's arrest of Jensen DeVellis. Both were arrested for attempted murder and aggravated assault. According to court documents, Duenas allegedly shot the victim in the chest and then got into a physical fight with him. Duenas was booked and confined while Garrido was booked and released. Guam is one of several countries banned from entering the Philippines. Malacanang announces President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the release of the red list of countries where travel restrictions will be implemented. All passengers coming from countries like Kosovo, Israel, North Macedonia, Switzerland, and Guam within 14 days immediately preceding arrival in the Philippines will be prohibited from entering the country until September 18th. The travel restrictions do not cover returning Filipinos who will fly back to the country through government-initiated or non-government repatriation programs, as well as through special commercial flights allowed under existing resolutions issued by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. HMS Queen Elizabeth is back, according to media reports. It docked at Naval Base Guam for a scheduled stop-off in the UK's Carrier Strike Group deployment. The ship made a tweet on its official account, half a day back in the beautiful Guam for some scheduled maintenance. The UK-led strike group is currently in the Indo-Pacific region as part of its 28-week deployment, covering 26,000 nautical miles. The Queen Elizabeth last docked on Guam in August as part of a series of multinational training exercises that began in May. News out of the legislature now. Senators Frank Blas Jr., Tony Atta, Joe San Augustine, Chris Duenas, and James Moylan have come together to introduce Resolution 162, requesting the governor to establish a Tourism Attraction Response Plan, or TARP, to provide financial assistance to businesses that make up Guam's tourism industry. According to Senator Blas, he, along with the co-sponsors of the resolution, met with business owners to talk about the state of the industry and what needs to be done to be sure that they are ready to welcome and entertain tourists when they are able to visit us again. Unfortunately, the industry has taken a huge and devastating hit because of the pandemic, and if we want to remain a viable and competitive destination when travel restrictions are lifted, we've got to do what we can now to ensure that we are operative before they come. Prior to the pandemic, the tourism dollars accounted for 60% of the island's economy while welcoming over 1.6 million visitors. With a 93.8% decrease in tourists and over 90% of revenue lost, it continues to adversely impact the employment of over 20,000 island residents. According to representatives of the group that met with the senators, the Guam Visitors Bureau, GITA, GHRA, and the Chamber were briefed on the need for a tourist attraction rescue plan and expressed support of the initiative. Haagen-Dazs is one of the many businesses on island that is Guam Safe certified by the Guam Visitors Bureau and carries a WTTC. We've got to do what we can now to ensure that we...
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Hawk Day, my name is John Isaac Bohol, Assistant General Manager for Haagen-Dazs Guam. Haagen-Dazs felt it was important to get the Guam Safe certified stamp because we wanted to show our employees, staff, even though we're all facing this pandemic, we wanted to make sure that everyone's taken care of, and we want to ensure our safety of our employees and the customers, that everyone is able to enjoy our ice creams here in the shop. And we also want to promote a clean and safe environment. For Haagen-Dazs, the Guam Safe certified stamp meaning that we're taking all the recommended and proper precautions to ensure that our staff, employees are able to experience our half a day that we are known for. We want to ensure that customers that we take this pandemic seriously. We are doing the best that we can to provide a safe and sterile environment for the families and friends who wants to patronage our products. Haagen-Dazs is now taking on extra precautions to ensure the safety of our employees and staff from the office to the dining floor. We ensure our staffs to wash their hands frequently or every other task, and also we want them to use the proper PPE for every operations and during interactions with the customers. We make sure that we have a hand sanitizer by the entrance and also a sign-in sheet form for our customer who comes in and out. Using a proper PPE like masks, gloves, this will help us to prevent the contaminations and the spread of the virus.
Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase is brought to you in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
And with your news in Chamorro, here's Kin Conception.
Buenos updates to get soon to be kunut sa morgan ni KUAM News. Presenta ni Familian Mito gi First Hawaiian Bank. Makonfirma ni KUM News na unamko na Palawan sa ninamalango ni mabakuna ni segundo na amod gi UOG Field House. Maagang si Dr. Hoa Nuan ni Klinik Binakuna ane un enfermera ripara na kulantisina humagang mauli ki Palawan. Gi durante ane mariconorsi itaw te Guam National Guard sa mana-establi kondisyon niya sa ALS na medic siya sa matisferi wate gi Nevo Hospital i Malango. Hakonfirma si Nuan nagagagi ay Palawan gispitat logwalo ki otro siya seryoso na tinot niya. Kasangan mas na senseguridad iamot binakuna za epok toli man mabakukunan o fanhano sa fan madulok in sigidas. Otro artikulo, aji seryoso na aksidenteng kareta gipangin sabalo gi sa piti sa Piniloy segundo na biktima guhin na crash. Nurini por KUAM, humananaw za yatulong na Hyundai Tucson gifyo ni Polaris Point ane finalagway ni driver za Atopia Ligan Cemento gi ikamtunsalan. Madeklara 29 anos na Palawan na matay guhi sa dos otro na famalawan sa mamakondi insigidas para espitat. Según si Sergeant Paul Tapao, spokesman para GPD, antitiyo hagwa espitat, uno na biktima no 29 anos loko edad niya sa Pinino ni Sidnodan niya. Testipaw gumimbestiga ay crash. Este mina 13 na finaytay crash kareta desti tinituho ni Sakan. Yuto mo na sunto gifinut sa moro para pago na mates kini KUAM News. Baresta di maaliligaw na tao ni Nambadga. Giya incidentin mamaki gi tranquilo kor gi Harmon gi mapos na mes. Basoda si Justin Michael Duenas, 31 anos na edad, no maatog gi Zatoto. Inatudod as Georgette Garrido no maaresta. Tinatiti este no inarestan Jensen Develis gi mapos na semana. Turi dos maaresta por attempted murders and aggravated assault. Según dokumento ni Korte si Duenas pamaki biktima gi Pitsonia, pas mumu idos. Mabuk pas makandalo si Duenas. Bago sa Garrido sa mabuk pas masota. Para Guam News Network, Guam sa Kin Conception. Yasuto gifinut sa moro sa presenta sa ninafatto ni Familian Mito gi First Hawaiian Bank.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded Coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
Take in the panoramic beauty of our island each Sunday on the KUM News Instagram with Scenic Sundays. Scroll through the natural beauty of the island on display. Scenic Sundays on the KUM News Instagram is brought to you by Addis Trust and Investment, Location, Service, Trust, and Haagen-Dazs Shops Guam, where every day is made extraordinary.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi.
This season, KUAM Communications is ready to go with more games, more championships, and more sports specials guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV11. We're bringing you all the action and excitement brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer, Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, and Docomo Pacific.
Is our meditation.
27 4-piece band. Dude, this is like... You don't see many, Jay, you don't see many air bass players, right? How am I doing?
You're awesome.
Yeah. You can tell, right? Am I? No, because I'm... That's how you do it, though. You do it like that, right?
Yeah, you don't do it like right underneath your...
All right, okay.
Don't ever talk about bass guitars in front of Jason, okay?
What's your thoughts on the bass, Jay?
Well, I mean, the bass is it is the connection that plays, you know, the rhythm of the drum and the pitch of the guitar. So I mean, you're holding down the whole rhythm section.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then if you got guys like Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers, I mean, it was like next level.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys want to
Dropping
hold
that
on?
knowledge.
No, we want to do a whole bass conversation. Who's your favorite bassist? I guess that's a loaded question, right?
Well, bass, how low can you go?
Right.
Death Row.
Bass,
What a brother knows. We should freestyle rap one of these days.
We should, totally.
I just dropped some Public Enemy on you.
Let's start with Tomas. Go ahead. Hey, guys, Tomas Maglonia, the KUAM News team. Good morning, Tomas.
Stanford in the house.
Okay, right.
Watch out.
Watch out.
We're not worthy.
Just joining the Link fam to share some of the great responses we got from our daily question that we're continuing here on KUAM.
Guys,
we share it on Primetime. It's on Instagram, Facebook, and then
tell us about
the reactions.
What is the daily question?
It's just a question of the news of the day, what people are talking about. Actually, if you want to submit a question for us to post, and if you want to start a conversation with your fellow islanders, with your neighbors, please go ahead and send that over to our KUM digital Instagram, and also you can also just feel free to email me directly at tomas@kum.com. But our daily question yesterday, which received over 1,000 comments, so people were sounding off on Facebook, Instagram, and on Instagram story. The question was, would you support a 2-week lockdown to contain the spread of COVID-19? And as Jason was saying earlier this morning, some people shared just all caps, 3 letters, yes or no, but we also had a lot of conversations going on Facebook and Instagram. And so we're going to share some of that today. We had one of our top comments on Instagram saying, yes, they support a 2-week lockdown, but businesses should be assisted by the government by aiding them financially or by putting a halt to rent and loans. Someone says, yeah, okay, because that worked so well when the first one started. Does no one remember about the 2 weeks that flattening of the curve? All it did was put people out of business. And some, a lot of people also talking about what it would mean for schools and businesses. I know that's something that everyone, brings up on the show whenever something about the lockdown is brought up. And someone also commenting on Instagram, if you're gonna lock it all the way down and give us essential worker time off. Just gonna go over to Facebook right now and share some of the comments there that also was happening. Again, we received over 1,000 of them about this question. Kevin comments, locking down is going to damage the economy more and make people even more reliant on government aid. Stop doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Bennett says, yes, lockdown is good, including air travel in and out. Also penalize the violators. D says, I agreed to close and lock down the entire airport and military ship. Close everything, only essential will be open, and that's it. Jonah says, I would 100% support it. It is needed to help slow the spread. And, you're seeing a lot of people also responding to each other, saying that because of this surge and the recent news of all the deaths that are happening, even those on arrival, a lockdown is something that it looks like a vast majority of the commenters would support, but also a lot of people bringing up concerns about businesses and schools and just daily life and how you got to live day to day. So
yeah, I mean it is. It's a tough question, but I think at the very essence of it, I mean, if you just look, like we asked the expert on it, Dr. Ann Pabutsky. I mean, she is the expert, the be all end all, the alpha, the omega of these COVID questions. As an epidemiologist, is how we asked her the question. Would a lockdown help stem the flow of the positive cases? And she was, without hesitation, yes, it would work.
Yeah, and so we're posting these daily questions every day around 10 a.m. on our Instagram, Facebook, and Instagram story. And if you want to ask a question to figure out what our island community has to say about it, feel free to direct message us on that Instagram or email me at tomas@kum.com. But lots of people, over 1,000 responding yesterday, having that conversation with each other about what would work, what might not work, and how we can continue to look out for each other in this pandemic.
Were you surprised by the answers, Tomas?
Yeah, I think a lot of people shared their honest view, which is something we should all be open to at this time.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to get
I want only honest
day
views.
by day. And lots of other people also bring in the other realities that we might forget when we suggest something like a lockdown, about work, about money, taking care of kids, schools.
Yeah.
These are things, all the hard conversations that we're having here on the link. And so we're going to continue to ask those questions and encourage that conversation, and can't wait to keep learning more about what people have to say.
I know you said we had over 1,000 interactions, but was there a clear winner with the answers?
Yeah, it was pretty easy to see that most people were saying just yes. And those were a lot of the responses we got was just a yes. And it was an open-ended question, so you could have put in a paragraph,
right,
or you could have put in a number or whatever you wanted to,
right.
And there were a lot of yeses. And again, the explanations that we saw in the comments on Facebook and Instagram, they were bringing up all the other issues about work, school, and making a living.
I mean, there was that comment you read about doing the same thing over again. But it's not the same thing. We're in a different situation now. Right?
Yeah, and people are pointing that out, that we've had enough time to think about this and see patterns,
right.
And people are pointing that out and sharing their view on that. So.
Yeah, and I think when we use the term like lockdown, that's, I don't know, what do you think of in your mind when you hear that?
Yeah, well, one person who commented saying, aren't we technically already in a lockdown? There are restrictions, limits.
Right.
I think when we were asking this question, as we discussed here on the link, it's something maybe more restrictive, right? And everyone has a different perspective on how that works. But as Nestor asked at yesterday's press conference, and we all heard, the experts are saying, right, that it is something they would recommend. But I think just thinking about everything else that revolves around the lockdown, business, school, things like that, is the deeper question that people want to discuss.
Sure, and I mean the conversation that we had last year, Bree, is, I'm sure you remember, it was what's going to work for the greater good, right? Do we suffer now for prosperity later? That's the big question, right? I mean, think about it, guys. If there was to be a lockdown, and it really just doesn't look like there's going to be, but like, wouldn't you rather lock down now than later? I mean, we don't have tourists.
We already have schools out.
We got schools out. Parents have the pandemic EBT, right? So they have a little bit of money to buy food. We have $600 million in aid that the governor can use very freely to assist the people in the event of a lockdown. Because I just feel like, what are we trying to do here? Right? What's the number one priority? And it has to be to stem the flow of the positive cases, which result in hospitalizations, which result in deaths. That has to be like our alpha and omega.
And I do want to just share a comment that was well written out about why someone wouldn't support a lockdown. Maria on Facebook says, "No, I do not support a lockdown. It merely prolongs the inevitable. We should go back with businesses closing for a couple of days to disinfect when a staff member are found positive. If there are elementary students from 3 different classes who are positive, send the students from those classrooms home to quarantine and continue classes with online classes for 10 consecutive days. Those who show no signs of the variant should return to in-person classes. Let's not penalize the whole elementary school." So again, that's coming from Maria on Facebook. And a lot of these great conversations happening with our fellow islanders here on Guam.
Yeah, I love those comments because some of them are like, "F this, you're dumb, yeah, good." So the ones with a little like meat, I like them.
And provide, alternatives.
Right, yeah. But I mean, again, it's your right to complain. Someone tweeted, "Stop complaining." No, you can complain all day, all night. It's a human right to complain.
Yeah, voice your view. And so again, we're doing that every 10 a.m. On Instagram and our social media pages. And just in case you missed that, the question will be shared at 6 on primetime.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good to have you back.
Thanks. Yeah, no, great to be here. This is a fun time.
A fun time. Interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, no. we should really start considering doing behind the scenes clips if you want to see what goes on.
Yeah.
We need that bleep button for language.
8:37, guys. We are going to play the clip from the press conference, but I wanted to go in with the hospital administrator Lillian Posadas because obviously there's a lot going on at the hospital. So she's able to give us a little time this morning. We definitely appreciate that. Lillian, good morning.
Thanks, Tomas.
Thank you, Tomas.
Good morning. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Bree and Jason. And good morning, Guam.
Good morning, Lillian.
How are you all?
We're just happy to be here, I guess.
That's what we started the show with. Happy to be alive. Like, literally. I know you say
yes,
that.
we are. We're blessed.
Yeah, we are.
Happy and grateful.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, there's some people who aren't alive and aren't.
Our condolences to all the
I
families.
know.
and,
That's true. It is sad and it's very sombering for the families who lost their loved ones to COVID.
Right, especially to see that they're getting sick at home and dying at home without seeking medical attention, medical care. That is just, alarming.
Yes.
Doesn't even begin to describe it. And let's just kind of start there, Lillian. Can you give us any additional information because they did put out the general stats here, but what can you tell us about the deaths that were that happened over the weekend that were reported yesterday?
Right. In the JIC, they reported 5. However, throughout the month of September, we've had a total of 7. The remaining 2 have not yet been reported to JIC, and primarily because I guess to give the family, the notice plus confirmation of some of the information. But of the 5 that were listed in the JIC, age range from 29 to as old as 80, 81. They're all male individuals, and all 5. With the exception of one was fully vaccinated. The others were not vaccinated. And the majority of them have underlying medical conditions pertaining to the heart, some with diabetes, some with cardiovascular, meaning high blood pressure, hypertension, some with renal, kidney disease. And so those were the combination of underlying medical conditions that probably played a factor in their condition and in their demise.
Lillian, I really hate asking this, but has it gotten to the point where what happened last year, right, with the morgue, where we had to break out, container or chiller? Is that something that's happened already at GMH, or?
Yeah, it is. And between the, with the DOAs that come in, the death on arrival, those are considered coroner's cases. And so, them being coroner's cases, meaning they have to go to the chief medical examiner morgue, and they have limited capacity there. And so, that's why we really try and push for the funeral homes to try and, expedite the funeral arrangements of the human remains of the deceased loved ones can be processed as quickly as possible, and so they can come and pick up the bodies of the deceased loved ones to their funeral homes. And for the most part, they have been cooperating. And so this morning we do have some vacancies, but it's just a process that needs to be expedited and facilitated as quickly as possible. We requested because the reefer that we had, the container that we had, and we transformed it into a morgue, an extension of a morgue. That went down, it wasn't functioning, and so they got removed from our premise. And so now we've requested, we submitted a DLAN ticket to get another container, and that we can then use it as a backup for space in terms of the morgue capacity.
How many bodies can the morgue hold currently?
The chief medical examiner morgue, they have 9 refrigeration or cubicles or whatever they call them. For us in our morgue, we have 12 reefers or 12 cubicles that we can accommodate 12 expired bodies.
over the weekend, there were the deaths that were reported at Naval Hospital, and
Correct.
I think they were brought over to the CME to conduct more
I can't
evaluation.
confirm that if they were brought over to CME because they also have their own morgue. So I can't confirm that they were brought over. I haven't received the information, and that doesn't mean that did not happen. It's just that I did not get that report or that information. Did you guys get that report?
No, it was just in that JIC report that we had to wait for the CME, I guess, to for more information, because it was very vague with the deaths and whether or not they had any underlying health conditions, whether they were vaccinated, etc. So I didn't know if I guess would be an autopsy to determine more information about those deaths.
We verified in the GU Web IZ, with the names, our infection control and our emergency room. They do verify whether or not those individuals who come in as, dead on arrival, expired. We verified with the GU Web IZ of their vaccination status. And so far, only one was fully vaccinated. The rest were not vaccinated.
What is the turnaround time? You said you put in the DLAN ticket for the container. How long would it take to get here?
Well, it depends if it's available on island. My understanding is there is possibly a 20-foot container that is available on island. And so, again, because it has to be sourced where it's available and the cost, what the cost is. So, we'll follow up again with the DLAN with the Guam Homeland Security, where they're at on that one. But that's been on discussion, believe since last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the governor confirmed the 9 COVID-related deaths during the press conference yesterday. Have there been any other deaths?
There was another one that was brought in yesterday, I believe. Yes, it was another DOA came in yesterday afternoon, late afternoon. We haven't yet gotten the details on that one because I think also pending family notification and confirmation. So there was one yesterday.
Lillian, before the pandemic, would it be common to see this many DOAs in this time frame?
No, again, it's not common to see this many DOAs. It's really just related to this, COVID. There's just a very strong correlation that we're seeing these DOAs, and they're tested. Their bodies are their human remains are tested upon arrival, and that the COVID test results come back positive. So. It's very, very strong correlation with the COVID and the DOAs. We have not seen this many DOAs here in this hospital since I've been here since 2019. This is just very alarming.
Yeah. For the one that was reported or that was brought in yesterday, do you have age range, male, female?
In the 50s. It was a male individual in the 50s.
Comorbidities?
I don't have that information confirmed, but I can get that. I'll try and get that information in terms of comorbidity, but I don't have it right now, and I don't want to say yes or no because I can't confirm it, and I can't really say that the individual has comorbidity.
Do you have an update on RegenCove? I know we got the information yesterday from May regarding the shipment. Unfortunate about the temperature control issues.
Right, and so we're looking into that. How can that be prevented? Because we certainly don't want those kinds of medications to be wasted, and so we're looking into that. But yes, we received a shipment of 24 vials, and we have been administering the Genco in the emergency room Blue Med tent. In fact, there were several individuals yesterday that were given the infusion treatment.
Yeah, I think Public Health said yesterday there were 30 people, I think, on a waiting list. Did you use up all 24?
You know what? I don't know that information right off the bat. I can follow it up because there are still some individuals that I understand scheduled to come in and be given the infusion. So let me confirm that, how much more we have left.
You're anticipating, I guess, I would assume, another shipment to make up for the 144 that were deemed unusable?
Right, exactly. We do need to get more. But we also have the dual monoclonal antibody, which is the bamlanivimab and the etesevimab. That's another option that we can certainly, infuse individuals with. And we've got the protocol already approved. GRMC has already started infusing that dual monoclonal antibody infusion. So we do have another option of infusion treatment.
Any more hospital staff infections to report, Lillian?
Yes, we do. In fact, one employee yesterday from a family, from the household. I think family members had the COVID infection, and so the staff, actually two yesterday. There were two yesterday that I received information. Two staff, and it was from the household.
What's the protocol for, like, let's say, I had an auntie who went to GMH for surgery, but she said that she wasn't tested for COVID upon admission or discharge, and then
because usually we do test for COVID for surgery. Now, whether or not your auntie was not tested, that probably depends on the physician.
But
and her, and her condition. So that may have been decided by the physician.
Yeah, because she has COVID now. But anyway, so we were just asking, hey, so did you get tested when she went in? And she didn't. She said she didn't, and then she also said she wasn't tested on discharge.
Okay.
I'm
now
just
she has
checking.
COVID, you said?
Yeah, so I think she went in Thursday, started exhibiting symptoms on Sunday, was discharged on, I want to say, Friday.
Okay. All righty. Did they say where she could have gotten the COVID? Are they doing contact tracing with her?
I haven't followed up. I'll follow up and check. I'm just asking what is so when you do go into GMH for a procedure, you guys swab people?
That's my understanding, but again, it's also the call of the decision of the surgeon. And also in the emergency room, we started kind of putting a criteria that only upon admission, because we were kind of running low on our Abbott testing kits, but we're testing and sending it to public health for PCR. So we continue to test everyone that comes into the emergency room.
How low are you guys running? Is it alarming?
Well, we were kind of concerned, but now we're testing everybody. We're swabbing everybody and sending the specimen to public health using the PCR analysis.
Okay.
Yeah, even the employees, we're testing them, we're swabbing them, and we're sending their specimens to the public health lab for PCR analysis.
I have to ask this, Lillian, because you said you guys were running low on the Abbott test kits. We're running low on Regencov. Is anybody kind of monitoring your supplies and saying, oh, we need to order this so that you never run low?
Absolutely, but it also depends on the shipment. We ordered our Regemco way in advance, but it was the shipment. And, only unfortunately when we received it, it was not contained within the temperature range that it was supposed to. And so we're looking at that one. But yes, absolutely. People are monitoring and keeping track of how much supply we have. And they, take a proactive approach by ordering. But there are just factors sometimes that, affect our supply.
Are you guys planning on putting up any more Blue Med tents?
Not right now, because we're trying to, as much as possible, we are using the Blue Med 10 as an extension of ER, and at the same time using it for the Regemco infusion. And so we're trying to really work with the community and the team, the surgeon cell, the PAG, and GRMC has already launched their infusion treatment clinic right outside of their hospital using a Blue Med tent also. But as much as possible, if these individuals do not need to come into the hospital and get that treatment on an outpatient basis, that would really, be better, particularly for the two hospitals, GMH and GRMC. We're trying to take care of the ones who are really, really sick, who need to be in the hospital, and those who can get the Regemco on an outpatient basis. That would be, the best use of our limited resources. So for now, we don't. I'm sorry, I got long-winded there. I went around the island with my answer. No, we're not looking at setting up another Blue Med tent. We're hoping that we don't need to.
What about the request to DoD for medical personnel?
Personnel, yeah. We submitted a request through, again, the DLAN, through Guam Homeland Security. And so, with all that's going on at the national level, a lot of the resources are already kind of deployed, with the Afghanistan situation, with hurricanes, IDA, and all the other events that are going on at the national level. Plus, they're still surging with COVID admissions in the hospitals. It's kind of limited, but they're going to do their best. The HHS and the FEMA folks, they're going to do their best to try and get us the additional resources that we need, that we could use.
Any updates on the SNF?
No update, but actually we got the green light from FEMA to go ahead and proceed with the, with the plan for it to become to transform that into an alternate care site. And the first phase of it is the construction of the B wing, so we can split up that ventilation system, and then we can then use the SNF site for both COVID and non-COVID for decompressing our facility here, and using that SNF as an alternate care site for both the residents who are there who are non-COVID, and if we need to decompress our COVID patients from here, we'll use that one wing.
How long is that, something like that, going to take?
Good question. With our government procurement process, it can take a while, but we'll try and speed it up as quickly as we can. We already have the design from the contractor, and so now we're just going to need to bid out for a contractor to do the construction.
Mm-hmm. When you say construction, are we talking about a brand new wing or just renovations to the existing
Just the
wing?
renovation. It takes some construction work to split up those the ventilation units. So that's why they put it under construction. It's a renovation of the ventilation system.
Mm-hmm. And how many, I guess, beds are we talking in the wing?
Okay, the SNF has 3 wings, A, B, C, and so each wing is structured to accommodate 20 beds, and so hopefully that we can use all 20 rooms in that B wing. However, we need to also factor in that we need to have like a nurse's station and some space for supplies and storage and all that. So possibly 16 or 18 beds is what we can then accommodate patients in that wing. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to ask if GMH has gotten any ARP money.
Not right now. We haven't yet gotten ARP money.
Like, really? Zero? Nothing in this 7 weeks into this surge and the need for resources?
Well, I understand that they still needed to do some, I guess, logistics of it, but we requested for some funding, particularly because, we had revenue loss last year when we suspended elective surgeries or, non-COVID patient census was down. So we had some revenue, loss of revenue last year. And so we requested for some supplement from that ARP money. But, I've been assured that it will be forthcoming.
Lillian, I mean, you're talking about revenue, and I know you remember I'd asked you about the accounts receivables for the hospital, and I was just looking at the information you guys provided, and
It got updated.
Yeah, so it says here that Aetna owed $10.5 million, and then after allowances, $2.3 million. Take Care $5.9 million. So when we talk about the hospital needing revenues and having lost revenues, where are we with
Absolutely
the collections on these?
What was the question, Chris?
Where,
I'm sorry.
Where are we on the collections with the? I mean, is it a problem getting the money that Aetna and Take Care owe the hospital?
Well, and again, it's because of all the documents that we have to submit, and we have been submitting the documents. We have more billers and more coders, and they are now have received more training with regards to making sure that those claims, those bills are clean and accurate. And so, we've submitted our claims to Aetna, but I guess their reimbursement process takes a while. But they need to pay us that $10.5 million that they owe us, and hopefully that they do pay us that. Take Care, we've been working very closely with Take Care. We've had to do some reconciliation of past bills, and so but Take Care has been making their payments. But it will be great if they can pay us what they owe us. It will really just be fantastic, so we don't we can pay the vendors that we owe.
Right. So Aetna, I mean, they left Island, right?
I don't know if they left the island already, but yes, they're no longer going to be providing plans for government of Guam employees. So whether they've left the island, I have no idea confirming that, but I guess they're not going to be doing business with government of Guam anymore.
But you are in contact with them, right? It's not like they split and they're not returning your emails or anything?
Right. We've been sending the claims, absolutely. There is that communication still ongoing between our billing business office and Aetna and other payers, health insurance plans.
Thank you, Lillian.
No, I was just going to say that even if Aetna was off island, who is on island is, the governor. And it's just kind of, I can't believe not one single cent has gone to GMH from ARP money.
It's coming. I've been assured that it is going to be coming. So, I'm confident we will get some funding.
What are you going to use it for when you do?
Well, we have payables. We have some vendors that we owe, and so we want to make sure we pay them.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
It's paying bills is what we do, paying bills and making sure we make payroll and making sure we pay our payroll payables, like the taxes and the insurance premium and the retirement. Those are what we have to pay. Those are the payroll payables that we always need to make sure we pay.
All right.
Thank you, Lillian.
Yeah, thanks, Lillian.
Thank you, too. You take care and stay safe. Okay?
You stay safe.
Yeah,
You stay safe over there.
All right. I will.
All right. We got our pulse oximeter. We're okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Gotta get one.
Got
Thank you. Thank you, Lillian.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jay.
Speaking of pulse oximeter, Mr. Genius DJ Joser over here, he actually found that there's a pulse. Show her, Joe.
There's
or
an
show
app.
them, Joe.
There's
Joe,
an app.
There's an app. Of course, there's an app for that. But Joe's he's got an Android phone, and you just have to put your phone over the back lens.
You stick it on there.
Oh, wait. We need a shot of that, Joe.
Okay, wait. Okay, so I'm gonna stick my finger in this one. Let's see.
Wait, here, Joe. Let me get you on camera, sir.
Okay, stick my finger over here, or put my finger, whatever, with my finger. I've got this one running. Is it running?
Okay, so Joe Sir just found this in the Google App Store.
Is this one? Wait, let me
And Joseph ran this a bunch of times, and it's very accurate to the actual. So he's putting Bree's index finger, as Dr. Wen recommended, and he's putting it over the back lens. So his rear-facing camera, he's putting it on the sensor. And as you can see there in the little animation, let me zoom in. And it's actually reading both blood oxygen saturation levels, which is the key thing what you want to look for, and your heart rate.
It's reading.
And it does it in about 20 seconds. So you just got to hold it there for a while, and you see that there's a meter bar. And Joser just found this, I mean, there's a bunch of them.
There's an app for that.
What does it say?
It says you got a treat for lunch today.
Hold your finger still.
Yeah, it's reading it. Don't move it.
Okay, about halfway.
7.
Yeah, that's heart rate.
Yeah. I think you guys get the point, though. You can. Is that in the App Store, Joe? Where else would it be? Galaxy.
What does it say?
Okay. It's loading, Bree.
Can you switch to pulse ox, Joe? I think that's heart rate. Yeah, so while you guys were talking to Lillian, Joser was like, he ran over and he's like, hey, look what I found. So for those of you who are, you haven't got time to go out, or you're worried about price, or, perish of thought, maybe they are
my hand is like getting tired.
out of
Can we
inventory.
Put it down on me?
Let's just hold on and see how good it works. We got to take a break, guys. We're way behind.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is an option, but
Yeah.
you should, and most of them are free, so you should definitely get this.
We're going to break. We'll be back with more of the link next, including Chima Mbakwem, the Chief Public Health Officer
What is it?
of Public Health.
You moved.
Coming up right here on the link, brought to you by Pacific Points, Cabo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
Guam was once home to over 12 native species of forest birds, each with their own unique sound, color, and role to play in our ecosystem. However, the arrival of the brown tree snake has threatened their existence. Today, only 3 of these species still exist in the wild. But what was once lost can be restored. Join the Department of Agriculture's efforts to restore our ecosystem. It is only through partnerships with various organizations and the community that we can give our native birds a future. Support snake suppression.
KUAM TV has been on the air for 65 years. 65 years of growing, changing, and adapting to the needs of our local community. 65 years of making you smile, laugh, and cheer, and being there for you in times of tears and heartbreak, and learning to heal together. We've kept you on the edge of your seats, been a trusted source for you to turn to, weathered many storms together, and celebrated life's big moments. And now at 65, we celebrate all the firsts we brought you over the years and all the firsts that lie ahead as our world changes. KUAM TV, celebrating 65 years of firsts on Guam.
See what's on TV tonight with schedules, network news and notes, local promotions and giveaways on KYM Communications social media pages. Like and follow us on Facebook or Instagram now for all the latest and never miss out.
Take in the panoramic beauty of our island each Sunday on the KUM News Instagram with Scenic Sundays. Scroll through the natural beauty of the island on display. Scenic Sundays on the KUM News Instagram is brought to you by Addis Trust and Investment, Location, Service, Trust, and Haagen-Dazs Shops Guam, where every day is made extraordinary.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
The Culture Club returns to KOAM Digital and KOAM News Weekend Edition, highlighting Guam's young artists, activists, and crafters as they work to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture. Watch this weekly feature on the digital platforms of KOAM News Weekend Edition, brought to you by Hanum.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi. Get yourself all caught up with the week's games, scores, and highlights with the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup on KUAM News Weekend Edition. It's all inclusive, all the fun and all the action wrapped up in the perfect presentation. Relive the moments on the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup, brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
Catch SportsLink on the KUAM News Morning Show, The Link, every Friday to hear about the latest in sports news, game schedules, athlete profiles, and more. SportsLink,
brought to you each week by Cure Alkaline Water and Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape,
airs every Friday across the multimedia platforms of KUAM. Tune into the broadcast on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11, live streaming through the KUAM News Facebook page, or view highlights on YouTube, KUAM News Facebook, and Instagram. SportsLink is hosted by Dave Delgado through KUAM Sports, and he will make sure that everyone knows what is happening on the fields, in the gyms, and everywhere in between.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app. Got a question about your finances? You've come to the right place. Bring all your accounts together, even those that aren't with us, and see the big picture, right down to the smallest detail. Unlock powerful tools like Insights and Money Map that help you save time and take control of your finances. When you connect accounts with the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
This season, KUAM Communications is ready to go with more games, more championships, and more sports specials guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV11. We're bringing you all the action and excitement brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer, Mariana's Irrigation and Landscape, and Docomo Pacific. The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV8 or from CBS on KUAM TV11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentation, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
KUAM Communications continues our perpetuation of our Chamorro culture, language, and heritage with features available to our listening and viewing audience, including streaming of Chamorro music 24 hours per day on Isla Digital Radio on KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. Chamorro News Update, weekdays on The Link and the KUAM News YouTube channel. Conversations about life in our Chamorro language podcast, Cuentos Tapoco with Kin Conception. Seasonal specials, shows, and other features highlighting the beauty of our language, culture, and history. It's a new era of our continued commitment to our Chamorro heritage. Isla, watch, listen, stream. Viva Isla!
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
Breeze 93.9 FM.
Research project. We got some link homework for the four of us and everything like that. Actually, you know, you may have a fitness tracker already. Certain models of the Fitbit, which I use, track blood, basically pulse oximeter. So you may have it already if you're using like one of the fitness trackers. You know, check your documentation, check your connected app. We were talking about apps and the fact that Joser actually found like freeware in the Galaxy store that you can use as a pulse oximeter. Interesting comment right here from John Borja, and he explains, you know, the science behind exactly how a pulse oximeter works. It basically emits light and then measures the light transmission to your skin. And he goes, it uses two different frequencies. That's why, I guess John must be an EMT or something, because he goes, that's why we tend not to rely on apps, because they tend to be like a little bit like off. Of course, if you want to get an actual pulse oximeter device, that would be the most accurate. But I was looking at this and I was like, you know, I can build that for the four of us. I'll build us an app. Give me a couple days. That's not that hard to do at all.
Yeah, on that note, my son was asking me to ask you, how do you make a video game? But I'll talk about that later. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a long answer. 916. So we did talk about the lockdown possibilities. It was our daily question on KUAM News. Received really an overwhelming amount of responses. It was like over 1,000 different comments. And so Nestor Lecanto of the KUAM News team did get to ask the governor at the press conference yesterday about whether or not she believed a lockdown would work.
Questions, starting with Nestor Lecanto, KUAM.
media with questions, starting
Thanks,
with
Crystal.
Nestor Lacanto, KUAM.
Thanks, Crystal. Up to everyone. Governor, there are some health experts, including Dr. Ann there, who say a lockdown would be an effective way to address this surge. Is that something you were considering, or was there ever a point where you were considering it? And if not, and why not?
Thank you, Nestor. Right now, I feel that the measures that we have placed in our community, on the tools that we have used to intervene to protect our community, is very adequate. We are, though, restricting social gatherings. We look at the data and we act accordingly. We have minimized social gatherings. We restricted social gatherings. And we have also required and asked businesses who are like your dine-in restaurants, who wearing masks can be most compromised during those events, to allow only those that are vaccinated to be part of their dining in. These measures, Nestor, are showing us that we are making some headways into our community spread. We have discussed lockdowns. We are looking at what we can do to help, maybe not a total lockdown, but maybe some other restrictions. We have made those discussions. Right now, we feel with the measures in place, with our 83% vaccinated in the community, we feel that we can continue employing these measures and trying to protect our island as much as we can, and to try and get some normalcy as much as we can. We always have to remember too, Nestor, and I think we have to adjust to this, that COVID cases are going to continue. The virus is going to be here with us. What is much more of a confident measure in being vaccinated is the fact that at the hospitals, the severity of the illness is not seen with vaccinated patients. You heard their census, and that most of the people that are in ICU are not vaccinated. Most of the people that are on the ventilators are not vaccinated. We're seeing dead on arrivals that are not vaccinated. And we're seeing longer duration of hospital cases not vaccinated. So my point is, we have tools that we are already using to protect our people as much as we can, and to balance also some kind of normalcy in our life, and with some restrictions. We are also standing up an infusion center, which is going to help minimize prevent hospitalization, because we are going to be infusing, or we already are. I know GRMC is very actively doing that, and so is GMH in their ER. What that is patients or people who are positive with symptoms that come to the testing site and referred to GRMC or GMH for treatment will get the treatment. And this helps preventing hospitalization, and it also helps decrease the severity of their illness. Dr. Mike?
Hey, Lester, let me just add a little bit more to the governor's discussion. We have always said that the first line of defense against this particular virus is really the community as a whole. And so beyond some of the mitigation efforts the governor has spoken about as far as the vaccinations and also the monoclonal infusion, is the individually are responsible for isolating ourselves when we feel sick, especially with symptoms, but especially maintaining the 3 W's. Wear a mask, maintain your distance, and wash your hands frequently, because those are the most important measures to keeping this virus contained. Because if there's going to be some of you that are not going to want to get the vaccine, at least do that.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cruz. One other question. You mentioned, and it is alarming, that we've got 8 or 9.
There you go. What do you guys think of that? I thought it was pretty interesting, especially the part where the governor had said that something shows we're making headway into the community spread. Are we missing something, guys? Because it looks like it hasn't improved one bit. How did it improve? That's what I want to know. I mean, if they had allowed an extra reporter and give us time to ask questions, then, I mean, that's an obvious question. Well, wait a second. What headway exactly did we make? Because we're still seeing the crazy number of positives. We're still seeing hospitalizations as high as they've been during the surge. But I think the governor's in this position where if she makes an adjustment, it's going to like throw her previous points out the window, right? Because she's kind of really like pitched her tent on the pandemic of the unvaccinated thing. And so these measures that have been in place, you guys know, they're just targeting the unvaccinated people. You can't go out to eat, can't go to the gym, can't go to the movies until you go get at least one of the shots. And I understand the effort to vaccinate everyone because, you know, like Dr. Lombard has said, like all the docs say, the vaccination works like when you first get it, right? But then it starts to get weak 6 to 9 months out. So I get that we should continue the vaccination effort because it is an effective tool against the COVID. And if it wasn't working, guys, I'm sorry to say, but we would see way more hospitalizations. That to me is just a fact, right? So something's working with the vaccine. But at the same time, we're also seeing the vaccinated hospitalizations, the vaccinated spread, right? And so I don't know. And then when they say that a vast majority of the cases are unvaccinated, I mean, that might also be because we just got the vaccine in December, right? So when they kind of average out the totals, I mean, I don't know, guys. It's just when we get all of our favorite doctors talking about how everybody has to participate in these restrictions. I mean, not even that. If these restrictions have been in place for over 2 weeks and we haven't seen the downward trend of the numbers, then to me, that means it's just not working. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not an idiot. I mean, is that crazy talk, Jay, or what? Because it's not working.
I was just thinking, you know who I'd really love to get on the show for tomorrow or maybe sometime before the end of the week?
Ooh.
An economist.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe our friend Gary Hiles over the Department of Labor, maybe Dr. Roseanne Jones
Right.
at UOG, because they would say, okay, if, you know, and everybody's, you know, it seems like so many people on social media are saying, yes, lockdown, or no, lockdown. And obviously the governor's trying to say, well, you know, we've got a bunch of balls in the air because we've got the healthcare concern, the religious concern, the economic concern, you know, like a bunch of that stuff. I would like to see, like, so say from an economic standpoint, if it did happen for two weeks, what would the outcome be in terms of earning potential? Companies would have to close. What would the GDP be like? You know, long-term forecasting, because that's what they do. And I would actually be interested in hearing from someone that's, you know, like at that level and everything to just say, here's my projections about like where, because we've been hearing, you know, like, and you know, we've had Dr. Lombard, we've had Dr. Babutsky, who, you know, gave us fantastic data and everything like that. I'd like to hear from like an economist. That's just me though.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. That's a good point. 9:25. Let's take a break, and we're coming back with more of the show. And then don't forget, how could you? Your chance to win $500. All right, start brushing up on your voice knowledge.
Speaking of which, it's Bree's turn to sing today, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, you sang yesterday, so
Yeah. And we know Joser's not going to.
Nope.
So it's either you or Bree. You guys flip a coin.
I'm down. It's 9:26. The break, and we're coming back with more of the show next. Good morning.
This season of The Voice. You're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
Listen, watch, and learn from the daily Chamorro News updates from KUAM News. Catch them on The Link during the 8 o'clock hour, streaming online on Isla Radio, or on the KUAM News YouTube channel for your convenience. Tune in and stay informed, all while preserving our precious culture through the daily use of our native Chamorro language. Chamorro News updates are brought to you by your familia at First Hawaiian Bank.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded Coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
I'm so into you. Be the way that you hold me. Could be the things.
Good morning. Morning, Sabrina.
Good morning, Christopher.
Morning, Jay.
Have you ever had $500 that are just burning a hole in your pants?
It's the story of my life, bro.
Now it's interesting because we have $500 that are burning a hole in your pants to give to somebody else.
Yes, that's a new feeling.
That's even more of a burn.
Yep. But guys, your chance to win is coming up. All you got to do is know a little something about The Voice. Okay?
And you know what? Take some of that $500, buy a pulse oximeter. Buy a couple.
Yeah. Buy you the Cadillac one. The one Brigot's $40.
Yeah.
Was it 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $40. You can get them for 20, like the regular Western Family one, but the one Brigot, it has a lanyard.
Hey, I just called, all right? If I knew it was one for 20, I would have gone for the 20.
I'm not shaming you. You guys, if you want to get the gold-plated,
I just called. Hey, you got an oximeter?
Yeah, the one. This is
yeah.
why,
Come on up. Okay, I'm gonna go get an oximeter.
This is why the one that
Brigot
Brigot is a little more on the pricey side, right? Because it not only has the lanyard, but it's got a really nice, pretty. It's got like 3 different colors for the digital display, and if you shift the orientation of your finger like you would your phone, it can either output what your pulse ox and your heart rate is, either in landscape or portrait. So she's fancy. And she's taking her reading again, as she should.
Right on. You should just keep that thing on your finger all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it on this finger.
Pretty sure you guys could guess what finger she's talking about.
It's not the index.
No, it's not.
And it's not the ring.
Hey, so we're getting Superintendent John Fernandez on tomorrow. But before because I wanted to go into this little clip here. But before we do that, we are giving away $500 for The Voice coming up before the end of the show. The show ends at 10, so it's going to be very soon. But we're really just getting ready for the big season premiere.
Yes, that is next week, Tuesday. Of course, KUAM TV8. It's at 7 p.m. It's a 2-hour season premiere. And so that's why we're giving away $500 every
Just
day
like
this
that.
week.
Boom. And so there was Bree Saturday, right? I want to say Saturday was there the Zoom informational session.
Yeah, it was the virtual input session with parents and stakeholders, guardians, and they called it because GDOE called it because they wanted to hear from the governor and her team of medical advisors.
Right.
Public health was on the line, just to kind of explain where we are with the pandemic, what is the plan, and that's what happened for 2 hours.
Yeah, and there's been a clip that's kind of been going around, and we're going to go ahead and play this clip.
This started off the whole.
Wait,
this was the first question.
This is
First
the first
question out the box.
First
yeah.
question, okay.
What we can start with, Thomas, since your hand is raised. Thomas, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thomas? Okay, I'm going to move to Benjamin Kim then. Benjamin?
Hello? Hello?
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hi, how are you, Governor? Governor, I just have a quick question for you. Hello, Governor, are you there?
Yes, you can speak. We can all hear you.
Yeah, but can she hear me?
Yes, she can hear you.
Governor, can you hear me or no?
Thomas, she can hear you, Thomas.
Okay, Governor, I'm just gonna ask you straight out. Do you care about the children of this island?
Yes, I do.
Do you? Because honestly, every kid is getting COVID, and yeah. Never mind. Bye.
That's our friend Tomas Tudela. Yeah. I feel that way, though, too. Sometimes when you ask the gov a question that she starts answering, you're like, oh, God, never mind. I don't want to hear it. But the question he asked, valid question. Do you care about the kids? The governor very defensive in her answer. And that was that. So what ended up happening? Like he just said, never mind.
Yeah, he just got off the phone.
Okay. But did
you could tell that he was so frustrated that it was maybe difficult for him to formalize, the question because he was just so frustrated.
Yeah.
You know?
He is frustrated. It's frustrating. It's a frustrating time.
Mm-hmm.
And the government's not helping. Really, not at all. The messaging and the communications failure out of Adaloop, it's costing lives. I mean, God, I hate to say it, but it is. It's costing lives.
Yeah, and like you said, we do know Tomas, and throughout the pandemic, there have been times he's reached out to us in need of assistance, in need of help, and really kind of just frustrated with the way things have been handled. And you've seen him he pays attention.
He does. Yeah.
He's on almost all the press conferences that Adaloop holds, and he's commenting.
Yeah, he is.
Not holding back how he feels.
Yeah, and that's it's a free country.
Exactly.
It's a free island. Do what you want. But you're right, though. He did reach out. He reached out to me to help him out with Azuda Mangafa and then a couple other. I mean, not like hey, hook it up or whatever. But how can we help him fill out the application, all that stuff. So a good kid. His heart's definitely in the right place.
Definitely
right?
a good kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, the governor is meeting with her. She has a 8:30 meeting every morning, and I know that it involves her medical advisors because this is the meeting that Dr. Hoa used to go into.
Yeah, we should send them the link of Dr. Hoa's interview. Since they like to send out videos and stuff.
Yeah, we got our own videos. And Dr. Hoa's interview this morning, pretty much asked him, "Hey, what did you think of that press conference?" And he said, "It was nothing. It was nothing. That after the governor had talked about the dead on arrivals, the increase in deaths. He said she should have come out and announced restrictions. He's calling on the governor to announce restrictions, not tomorrow, not this afternoon, immediately. I mean, he was calling
across the board
Yeah,
restrictions,
yeah, none of
not
this-
the vax on vax.
Yeah.
Not the church can,
Do
have
whatever.
100%
Yeah.
capacity and.
You know, he
Like-
does have a point though, because I mean, if you think about it, if you apply kid glove solutions, you're gonna get kid glove results.
Amen. And I just feel like the governor's
Everybody wants this thing to go away, but
Yeah.
but piecemeal. It's like you can't do that. Or either that, or if you try and take that approach, the converse is it's going to take a very, very long time.
I just think it's safe to say, man, that these restrictions that she has in place that target the unvaccinated, they're just simply not working. Like I don't care. I'm not even trying to get in. I mean, you guys know how we feel about the whole vax unvax thing, but I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, isn't there anyone down there in Dadeloop who's like, yeah, Gov, you said we're making headway, but I don't know about all that, man. It's pretty bad. Dr. Hoa said, what do you say this morning? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. How do we get worse? How do we get worse than like?
Did he say we haven't even plateaued yet?
Yeah, and then the governor yesterday said we're in the eye of the typhoon. Like, have you ever been through a typhoon? Have you ever been through a typhoon? Because in a typhoon, you get hammered, you get beat all around, and then the eye comes, and everyone's like, "Wow, it's so beautiful out there," and then you get beat up again. I think we're past the eye. We're on like the other side of the eye. The eye was probably earlier this year when. We reached the herd immunity. Remember, that was supposed to mean something. We reached the herd immunity and they opened everything up. That was the eye. Now we're on the other side, and the second half of this storm is kicking our ass. Major. Let's take a phone
Read
call.
this comment?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Read a comment, yeah.
Oh, let's see. Chamarita Regis writes, we already have no mask, no entry. Now it is going to be no mask, no vaccinated, no entry. We are all mandatory or, in fact, abiding with the policy in place. Are we already in restriction with the EO? Lockdown is necessary to contain the COVID-19 from the spread. We have listened and we have followed up to your standards of your executive orders. Just admit it, Governor, that the opening of school was not really a concern at the time because you had made a decision to have everyone vaccinated and you had raffled the vaccinated out, and yet not everyone was going with your plans. You did, in fact, make your goal by the 21st of July, but sadly what you did not realize is that the COVID-19 was hitting the children at school, and it spread within your island. Very sad, Governor. We put our lives in your hands and followed your every step of the way. We are very concerned about the decision you are having to make, and it makes us wonder, are you fit to make these decisions? Answer us this question.
Dang.
And, wow.
Tamarita Regis is always on point.
Wow.
Yeah, there's people, man, I hate to say it, but people have lost this really little to no confidence in the administration. And it's so unfortunate. It's sad.
And yes, Linda, Teason is open for testing today. Just be ready to wait.
Yeah, be ready to wait. It's 9:40. Let's go take a break. And
Did you say someone's on the phone?
oh yeah, we got a phone. Sorry. Yeah, let's take. Thank you, Jay. The link. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Welcome to the
Morning,
link.
sir.
Half a day. Good morning, Chris, Sabrina, Jason. How are you today?
We're here.
I just want to mention this. This policy, this mandate sometimes don't make sense. You can allow 25 vaccinated people indoors, and yes,
Outdoors, sir.
or outdoors. And 10 indoors. Chris, people's got to understand that it spreads rapidly indoors because you're in a confined space, plain and simple. So safer to be outdoors. All these things that, people getting hospitalized and people being sent home after being tested positive with no plan or a plan of treatment. Just recently we started getting something in this island, but where were they at? months ago that early intervention, early treatment is necessary. You just don't send someone home and not give instructions, what to take on a daily basis. Just now people are they're saying, in fact, what they have in plan is reserved for 50 and over. They're limited now. They only have like so many amount in. The rest is not on island or is spoiled or what have you. We gotta seriously look into all of this because early intervention, early treatment is key. Is key for survival. We're seeing people that are getting vaccinated, coming down with COVID. Is it 6 to 8 months? Is you got to get a booster every 6 months? You got to get a booster now. Are we going to keep on infecting ourselves with this booster? We don't know what's behind it. The president is pushing for these boosters to get it approved by the FDA, and yet I'm finding out through research that people are quitting FDA or even CDC because they're tired of the president, pushing for this stuff and it's not properly tested. What is the legislature also doing? Are they questioning these doctors? Questioning, the other side of the picture of this vaccine, is it they're forcing kids now to take it, 12 years and below? What about those healthy children that their immune system is great, and yet they're going to force it on kids that are perfectly healthy? The mask, we know it's not 100%. When children exhale, when we breathe in fresh air and we exhale, we're getting rid of the toxins. Yet we'll breathe the toxins back in wearing a mask. We got to look at everything about this, what we're doing to ourselves in this island. We got to look at this mandates. Is it going to work? Because it doesn't. Honestly, we just lost everything, basically our freedoms. This is my opinion. I've done so many research into this, and I can go on and on and on and on.
I'm sure you can, sir. There's a lot of stuff out there on the internet.
And I look at both sides. I look at what other side. I'm not saying I'm against vaccine. No, I'm not. I'm not against vaccines. If you want them, go get them. If it's going to help you, go get it. If you have comorbidities, I advise that you get it. But if you're young and healthy, you got to ask yourself, do you really need it, or are you still going to get it? Those are things that we got to ask ourselves, and people's got to start to think. We're going to let now our children, 12 years and younger, 5 years old, we're going to let them get the vaccine. If they get COVID and they recover from it, their immunity is way greater than vaccinated, and the now vaccinated people are getting COVID. So, and yes, they constantly say, well, if you're vaccinated, you have you won't stay in the hospital that long. Understand? I do. But if you do get COVID and you recover from the COVID, your immunity is way, way, way better than those who are vaccinated. And then you're going to punish them again for not going out to go eat dinner, not able to go watch movies and stuff like that. It's here. The virus is here. We have to deal with it. We have to face it head on. And at the same time, man, we should not be able to lose our freedoms. We should not be,
Thank you, sir.
This lockdown, people talk about lockdown, that it might be the solution. Well, I'll tell you what, you get one infected person going home to quarantine, you're going to infect your family, in that household. I'll tell you that right now, because, a lot of the cases that I've heard or so far, from friends and family, the whole household is affected. And it started out with one, they pass it on to each other because they're in a confined space. So you guys have a good day, and we hope for the best. I'm praying for the best. And also, we've got to stand up too for what is right and stand up for our freedom.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much
sir.
for calling in, sir.
Let's stick on the
And
phone.
stay safe.
Yeah, take one more. 946. The link. Good morning. Hello. Oh, hi, sir.
Hello. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How you doing, Bobette?
We're okay, man.
All right. The only comment I got really is I don't know what we're waiting for. Clearly, man, she's not competent to run our island. I think we should impeach. I mean, I don't know what we're waiting for. 9 people over the weekend. Oh my God, now she wants to open the school 4 hours later. These are our kids, brother. I mean, hey, we voted for you because you wanted to help the island. You're not doing anything. I think the senators, instead of fighting about money and all of that, fight to get her butt out. I mean, clearly, bro, it's just showing everything, and I don't think she knows how to run the island. I mean, pretty soon the people of Guam are going to open their eyes, and they're already starting. People are calling in, it's just too much already, man. Why not try locking down the island for 1 week? Everything goes down and see what happens. I just thought I'd let my opinion go out there.
Thank you.
You guys are welcome. Stay safe. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir. You stay safe too. Let's have a competition. Who can stay safer?
I think that's what we should do.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Okay, sir. That's what I want to do. That's what we need. We need to make staying safe cool. Okay, I'm staying safe. Hoi.
Show us how you're staying safe. Send us your videos.
Right. Send us your video of you hiding under the table.
Oh, wearing your mask.
It's frustrating, man.
Washing
People,
hands.
and those two people.
Staying home.
Yeah, people are just, they don't really get it,
Getting your oximeter.
Get your pulse oximeter. Wear your mask. Do all the good stuff. It's 9:49.
Show us your oxy.
Bree's over here trying to come up with. See, this is what Adeloop needs to be doing. They need to be coming up with campaigns, catchy campaigns. Hey,
They did. What was it? The Carabao, or what was that? What was that one?
Yeah, if you can't remember it, then it's not an effective campaign.
Yeah, something about Kiko can't go to school. or
Kiko
something.
can't go to school.
go to the
Kiko
bar
can't go to the
or
bar.
something.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb.
Why would Kiko go to the
Like, first of all, we're way late on the messaging that we've had here on the show consistently. When you get COVID, what do you look out for? When do you go to the hospital? Like, people need to know that, especially if we're kind of checking out on them, right? Public health that says, oh, the contact tracing, oh, it's too hard. Oh, man, it's everywhere. So, I mean, if they checked out, then you got to really, check in on yourself, guys, and keep an eye on yourself. Let's take one more phone call, and then we're going to take a break here. The link, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Is this Chris Malfunction?
Yes, sir, good morning.
Yeah, I've been hearing on the radio all the time. They talk about the school, but what about these bus drivers? I mean, they're in these bus drivers inside a bus. I see some of the tour buses like in the mainland, they have plexiglass behind the driver to protect the driver. But how come the government school bus, they can't do that?
Are you a bus driver, sir?
Yes, I'm one of them, but we were bringing that issue up because, safety concern for the drivers.
So you mean, so they don't have these plexiglass dividers? Or do they at least give you PPEs? Do they?
Yeah, we got a PPE, but that plexiglass will help out if they put that behind the driver.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not arguing with you. I was just wondering if they're at least doing something to help you guys out.
Mm-hmm.
What about the amount for kids inside?
And then also we're talking about reopening school again face to face on the 20th of Monday. What is the social distance in the bus? How many packs are we required?
Yeah. Is that what you're hearing, though, sir? That the face-to-face is going to start on Monday?
Well, that's what the rumor's going around.
Yeah.
Up in the air, but
The rumor.
if they're going to do it, and I mean, how are you going to do the social distance in the bus? And like, how many kids are supposed to be in the bus for every pickup? If you're going to have social distance, because I know the last time when they did when they said 80%, there was like no social distance in the bus because we have to go over the capacity what they were told by the director.
Right.
So now they dropped it down a little bit, but you know, in every respect of the bus, like for example, on a 70 passenger bus, you're allowed to carry 60. That's true. If you carry 60 on that 77 passenger bus, you still don't have no social distance in there.
Wow.
And then on a 60 passenger bus, you're allowed to carry 40. So eventually, if you look at the inside of the bus, you know, even if you have 40 on a 60 regular passenger 60 bus, you're not going to have social distance because I guarantee, like every chair there is going to be occupied by one or two persons on both sides.
Sir, can I ask you, like, as a bus driver now? As a bus driver, are you capable? Are you able to keep your eyes on the road and a diet talent, and then also manage, 40 kids and make sure that their masks don't come off and make sure that they're not, sticking their fingers in other kids' eyes and all that kind of stuff? Because parents, parents are saying they don't feel safe with the kids on the bus because there's no social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is no social distancing, no matter, like, for example, like I said, they work, the director's requirement now is that if you're driving a 77 passenger bus, you're only allowed to carry 61. And then if you're driving a bus that's a 60 passenger bus,
45.
You're allowed at least 40 to 45 passengers. But if you look at it, even though you have 40 or 45 passengers on a 60 bus, you still don't have a social distance in that bus.
Yeah, now we get it.
And the only way to get that social distance in the bus is like just keep like every other seat.
Right.
You don't talk about the school, but you don't talk about the driver.
Yeah. No, good point. And people have brought this up, though, when the schools were open for a little. They were saying that, hey, what's the point of social distancing in the school when they were packing them in the bus, Kellen sardines?
Right.
And it's not just for the safety of the kids, but it's for the safety of the bus drivers.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So,
right on. Well, hey, thank you, guys.
Well, we'll get that out. Thank you.
Yeah, no, we will
you.
definitely ask about that. It's 9:54.
Be safe.
Yeah, please. We're going to take a break, and we're coming back, and we're giving away $500 next. Good morning.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
Take in the panoramic beauty of our island each Sunday on the KUM News Instagram with Scenic Sundays. Scroll through the natural beauty of the island on display. Scenic Sundays on the KUM News Instagram is brought to you by Addis Trust and Investment, Location, Service, Trust, and Haagen-Dazs Shops Guam, where every day is made extraordinary.
KUAM TV has been on the air for 65 years. 65 years of growing, changing, and adapting to the needs of our local community. 65 years of making you smile, laugh, and cheer, and being there for you in times of tears and heartbreak, and learning to heal together. We've kept you on the edge of your seats, been a trusted source for you to turn to, weathered many storms together, and celebrated life's big moments. And now at 65, we celebrate all the firsts we brought you over the years and all the firsts that lie ahead as our world changes. KUAM TV, celebrating 65 years of firsts on Guam.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC and the Medical City, where patients are partners.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Say hello to the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, where you get smart insights into your finances so you can make smart decisions with your money. With a daily personalized feed, you can compare your monthly income to spending. That's better. Discover where your money is actually going. You might be surprised. See what's essential and what isn't. The more you use the app, the smarter it gets. With insights from the First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, it all starts with yes.
This season of The Voice promises to be the best one yet, with singer Ariana Grande joining the star-studded coach lineup, including John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Kelly Clarkson.
Happen to see how last season ended? I won.
But that's why I'm here.
To get you hyped up for the big premiere, KUAM Communications are giving you the chance to win $500 daily between September 13th to September 17th for showing us how much you love The Voice. All you have to do is listen to The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM or watch the live stream on Facebook Live, and when prompted, call in with your answer to The Voice Daily Trivia Challenge. And then on premiere day, September 21st, check out KUAM Digital for a special bonus question and another chance to win $500. Visit KUAM.com for official rules and regulations. Some restrictions apply.
The Voice, brought to you locally by First Hawaiian Bank.
Melissa Soldiers. All right, good morning. It's Tuesday, September 14th, 2021. I feel like giving away $500.
Me too.
Well, Jay?
Well, you guys, The Voice premieres on Tuesday, September 21st, right here on KUAM at TV8 at 7 p.m. And to celebrate, we are giving away cash prizes of $500, as Chris said, daily all day this week. And this season, Ariana Grande joins the crew of Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, and John Legend for an exciting new season that is filled with pure magic. Spirit fingers, jazz hands, whatever you want to do. Watch the season premiere next Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on KUAM at TV. Now, you know what you have to do. We'll take the first correct caller who calls us at 637-0094. And you got to answer a trivia and then take the link challenge.
Okay, so what I'm going to do to make this fair is because we actually have people who are already calling, which is not fair because we haven't even asked the question yet. So I'm busying out the phones, and then after Jason answers the question, I'm going to reset the phone so that everybody starts on a level playing
Chris
field.
just hit you with an EMP blast.
Boom.
Everybody gets disconnected.
Okay, Jay. So we ready, guys?
We are ready. Okay, you want the question?
Yeah.
Okay, today's question, I told you it was going to be fun. Here's today's question. In 2017, new coach Ariana Grande and John Legend sang the theme from which classic Disney film? Is it A, The Little Mermaid? Is it B,
Under the Sea,
Cinderella?
Really?
Is it Snow White? Please take this apple, my dear. Or is it Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast.
But Daddy, I love him. No. That's every Disney movie you've ever seen.
That's
Forbidden
all
Love.
extra for you guys. We're just giving you
so
the extra.
Ariana Grande and John Legend covered in 2017 the theme from which of those classic Disney films? Little Mermaid, Cinderella, Snow White, or Beauty and the Beast?
Okay, I am disconnecting everybody. Phones are open. We'll take the first correct caller. Well, hopefully you're correct, but you are the first caller. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. This is Gene.
Hi, Gene.
Hey, Gene.
What's up, my friend?
Good morning.
How you feeling this morning? You feeling lucky?
Feeling great.
Feeling great. Could you use $500?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here's the question. In 2017, Ariana Grande and John Legend sang the theme from which classic Disney film? A, The Little Mermaid, B, Cinderella, C, Snow White, D, Beauty and the Beast.
Sorry, can I get what's the answers again? Sorry, the choices?
A, The Little Mermaid, B, Cinderella, C, Snow White, D, Beauty and the Beast.
I'm going to choose Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast? Is that your final answer, man?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, man. Congratulations. You
Yeah!
Congratulations,
And the man takes
$500.
the first pitch right out of the park.
And Joe, sir, thank you.
Hey, Joe, sir, he said thank you, Joe. Sir.
Hey!
Money.
Hey, and Joe Sir's doing the make it rain symbol right now.
Right on.
Thank you.
Was that a lucky guess, or are you just a big Beauty and the Beast fan?
Shelly, honestly, that's lucky.
Wow.
That's luck.
Oh, there you go. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Don't hang up, okay? We're going to get your information.
Well, you got to do the challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Sir, you have to sing for us and the people of Guam. It could be anything you want. You can go freestyle. You can sing
can rap.
island music. You could recite a poem. But we just want to hear a couple bars.
Recite a poem.
A couple bars of anything?
Yeah, anything.
No cussing.
Yeah, just keep it clean, please.
Man.
And no mumble rap, because that's like a totally different conversation.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll just go with the happy birthday.
Nice.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Because my son turns 13 next week, so let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christian. Early birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Hey!
Great job.
Well, let's just call it birthday money, okay?
Yeah, for real.
And this man has gotten $500 the old-fashioned way. He earned it. Great job, brother.
Hold on, my friend, and get ready for the season premiere of The Voice, guys.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, September 21st on KUAM TV 8, 7 p.m. It's a 2-hour season premiere. And again, we're giving away another $500 tomorrow right here on the link.
Yep, we sure are. KUAM TV, it has been amazing sharing this morning with you.
And thanks for singing the happy birthday song. No copyright on that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Royalty free.
Yeah.
Good job today, Bree.
Good job, Christopher.
Jay, good job.
Always
Joe, sir, good job. You guys, though, thank you guys. And remember, we're doing a contest.
Yes, we are every day.
Wait, I was talking about let's do our who can be the safest contest.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay,
that sound like a lot of fun? Who can be the safest out there? All right. Okay. Or what were you talking about?
I was talking about the voice.
Yeah, I know we're doing the.
You're gonna win the $500,
Yeah, you sure
right?
can.
The premiere next Tuesday, TV8. Pop sensation Ariana Grande joining Blake Shelton, Kelly Clarkson, and John Legend. Wow.
Can you imagine Ariana Grande giving you tips on how to sing?
Yeah.
I wish you could give me tips.
I mean,
on
if
how
she
to
gave me tips on how to sing, I'd just be like, "Oh, sorry, girl, we're not all Ariana Grande."
Maybe even better. Can you imagine Ariana Grande
Sorry.
complimenting you on your singing?
Yeah.
That's praise from Caesar right there.
I know you can imagine that. Guys, it's 10:05 KUAM TV.
Whoops.
It's brought to you by Pacific Points, Calvo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box.
Nice working with you.
Yeah. Thanks. We out. Adios.
Make it through the week with Monday's work week weather.